Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. I'm in Western Capital. Marry Vados at the beginning. Chapter 1. Khan, it took me a lot of effort to get in touch with this girl for you today. She is pretty, and it is said that she has a good personality. You have to seize the opportunity. Dragon Ball IG 761 September. In a mid to high-end restaurant in Exedu. Wearing a little makeup, Chi-Chi in formal attire said earnestly. Khan on the side sat upright in a suit and leather shoes. After tidying up the collar of his suit, Khan said seriously, "Let's talk about it when she comes to understand. If the other party dislikes me, then I can't help it." This is Khan's 5th blind date in the past month. The previous 4 blind dates all failed due to various reasons. Grandma, I didn't expect a blind date to be so difficult in the Dragon Ball world. Khan curled his lips and sighed inwardly. Khan, Saiyan, 25 years old, Son Goku's big brother. At the same time, it is also a member of many time-traversing people. Traveled to the Dragon Ball world 25 years ago and became the second son of Bardock and Jine, born a year earlier than Son Goku. When Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta, Bardock sent him to Earth with Son Goku. But because Khan is also a low-level fighter, his current combat effectiveness is not strong. Although Khan has also practiced very hard in the past, his strength is still weaker than Son Goku. Although Son Goku is also a low-level fighter, he is also the original protagonist at any rate. With the aura of the protagonist, how can a waste traveler like Khan be comparable? As for why Khan would sit here on a blind date, that has to start more than a month ago. About 35 days ago, Khan waited 25 years for his golden finger to finally arrive. However, the trick is that the prerequisite for activating the system is to marry a woman. Khan has no girlfriend, and Khan, who is familiar with the plot, knows that Raditz will come to Earth in a month or so at most. If the system is not activated to improve his strength, he and Son Goku will probably die in the hands of Raditz. So in order to get married as quickly as possible, Khan can only choose a blind date. Some people may ask, as a time traveler, wouldn't you drink Bulma? Is it delicious to eat soft rice? In this regard, Khan can only say that he has indeed been with Bulma and spent some time with Bulma. Later, due to various reasons, they broke up. After finding the Dragon Ball for the first time, Bulma went home to focus on scientific research. Khan is also often busy practicing. Although he didn't achieve much effect, but because of these reasons, the two basically didn't have time to meet each other, and they broke up peacefully over time. In terms of feelings, whether it is Khan or Bulma, they still have feelings for each other. Only broke up because there wasn't much time to see each other for the past few years. As for the prerequisites for this system activation, Khan also wanted to get back together with Bulma in the past, but he and Bulma have not seen each other for nearly 2 years. It would be a bit too abrupt to suddenly find Bulma to get back together and get married. Besides, Khan doesn't know what Bulma is thinking now. So Khan thought about going on a blind date first, and then go to Bulma to get back together if it doesn't work. As for Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi is indeed a good wife and mother, and she is also pretty, but Khan is not so crazy as to snatch his brother's official match. Can't you change your request? There's really nothing I can do about you. Chi-Chi held his forehead, feeling a little headache. In fact, in the previous blind dates, the woman was very satisfied with Khan. Khan is not only handsome, but also very masculine, and has good strength, which can give the woman a full sense of security. Only one of Khan's demands could not be accepted by the woman. It's a flash marriage. Khan's request is to get married within 1 month of the blind date, while the woman's request is to get along with each other for a few months to 6 months to see if it is suitable before considering marriage. Because of this, Khan's first 4 blind dates all failed. Therefore, as Khan's younger brother and sister, Chi-Chi is also worried about Khan's lifelong event. This is not okay. Khan shook his head firmly. If you can't complete the wedding activation system before Raditz arrives, then he doesn't even need to come on a blind date. At the same time, on the roof of the tallest building in Western Capital, a stunning woman is slim. She is tall and slender, with an extremely delicate oval face, like a perfect creation of God. His eyes were cold, and his proud figure was perfectly outlined by a tight uniform. With a gust of breeze, his high, silver-white ponytail fluttered in the wind. It also adds a bit of elegance and sassy style to it. Beside her, Grand Priest stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the bustling western capital, and said in an amiable tone, "Vados, have you really decided? If you get hurt in the future, don't come back to me crying." "Yes, Lord Grand Priest, I have made my decision." Vados blinked his beautiful purple eyes, and his tone was firm. "Why does Vados, the sixth universe angel, appear here?" That has to start with a precognitive dream that Vados had not long ago. In Vados' precognitive dreams, a beloved of hers appears. In the prophetic dream, she walked into the palace of marriage hand in hand with this true love. The two loved each other and lived a happy life. Then, in order to understand the love between human beings, Vados even interviewed many humans in the sixth universe to understand their love history and views on love. In this regard, Vados has done its homework. Until a few days ago, in the precognitive dream, Vados's love left her at the end of her life. At that moment, Vados in the dream was heartbroken, and it wasn't until she woke up that she realized that she had burst into tears and her heart was pierced. It was also at this moment that Vados knew that she must not lose this true love. She wants to find him, give him infinite life, and be with him forever. Vados uses the angel staff to find the love of her prophetic dreams, and he is Khan. After finding the specific location of Khan, Vados went to ask Grand Priest for instructions, but Grand Priest disagreed at first, because she was the sixth universe angel and needed to perform angel's duties. What's more, in the past billions of years of history, there has never been any precedent for an angel to have love with a human being. But Vados forced her to die. She said, "If Master Grand Priest disagrees, I will violate the principle of absolute neutrality of angel and disappear from now on." Grand Priest can't help it. In order not to lose any angel, he could only agree to Vados' request and use a sleeping angel to fill the position of Vados' sixth universe angel. For today's blind date with Khan, Vados took off Angel's clothes. Even Angel's blue-green skin has been changed to a human one. "Since you have made up your mind to go, I won't say anything more. I wish you happiness." The words fell. A purple space vortex appeared behind Grand Priest, and in the blink of an eye, Grand Priest disappeared together with the purple space vortex. After the Grand Priest left, a touch of tenderness flashed across Vados' beautiful purple eyes. Immediately, in a flash, Vados appeared at the restaurant he had agreed with Chi-Chi in advance. After tidying up his face a little, Vados took a deep breath, and then Yuzu stepped gently into the door of the restaurant. Although it is not the peak time for dining at noon, there are quite a few guests in the restaurant. As soon as Vados entered the restaurant, he immediately attracted a lot of attention. She is beautiful. The temperament is dignified, elegant and cool. There was a faint smile on the vermilion lips, just like the cherry blossoms blooming, stunning. The male customers in the restaurant were all attracted by Vados' stunning beauty. Khan was also drawn to Vados. He stared closely at Vados, who was walking towards his table, and froze there for a moment. One was deeply attracted by Vados' amazing appearance, and the other was shocked by Vados' appearance. "Isn't this riding horse Vados?" Khan secretly marveled. "This woman looks exactly the same as Angel Vados of the sixth universe, at least it can be said to be exactly the same. In addition to skin color and clothing are different." While Khan was in a daze, Vados had already walked up to him and Chi-Chi, and said politely, "Hi, I'm Vados." "Miss Chi-Chi, is this Mr. Khan you mentioned?" "Ah yes. Chi-Chi hurriedly patted Khan, who was dazed, by the side, and introduced, "Khan, don't be dazed, she is Vados, the blind date I found for you this time." Oh. Khan came back to his senses, then got up and bowed slightly in a hurry, and said politely, "Hi, Miss Vados, I'm Khan, please sit down." Vados was amused by Khan's flustered look. She pursed her lips and smiled lightly before taking her seat. "Khan, Miss Vados, please talk slowly, I won't bother you, I'm leaving first." After Vados was seated, Chi-Chi tactfully found an excuse to slip away. Khan and Vados are here on a blind date, and she doesn't need to be a light bulb here. Cough cough. After Chi-Chi left, Khan coughed tactically to ease the slightly awkward atmosphere. The Miss Vados in front of him, although she looks almost exactly the same as the sixth universe angel, and even has the same name, Khan didn't make any guesses about the sixth universe angel. After all, the sixth universe angel Vados is an angel. not to mention that she has to fulfill the duties of an angel. It is even more impossible for someone as an angel to come to the earth of the 7th universe to have a blind date with him as a human being. Khan is still somewhat self-aware. Although he is a time traveler, he has not even seen Vados face to face after time traveling for so long. If people don't know him, let alone tell him, it is even more impossible for him to have a crush on him. Maybe it's just a coincidence, Khan thought to himself. It's just that Khan couldn't figure it out a little bit. This Ms. Vados in front of me is not only so beautiful, but also has a top-notch temperament. How could it be reduced to a blind date? It stands to reason that she should have many suitors. When Khan was deep in thought, Vados's voice sounded like a silver bell. Mr. Khan, what do you want from me? This, Khan said in embarrassment. Don't you get to know each other first? Isn't it a little too fast to talk about the request now? Vados shook his head, smiled and said, I don't think these are too important. In the precognitive dream, Vados knew enough about Khan. Even Khan's somewhat reserved and withdrawn personality now is exactly the same as in the precognitive dream. I have to say that in the eyes of Vados, Khan, who is somewhat reserved and introverted, is quite cute. This. Khan scratched his head and said, why don't you tell me what you want from me first? Vados smiled and said, I'm very satisfied with you, I don't have any requirements. Quote. Khan was at a loss for words. He pinched his thigh fiercely, and it wasn't until a sharp pain came that he realized that he was not dreaming. This is so unreal. Such a beautiful woman doesn't have any demands on herself. If he hadn't experienced it himself, Khan couldn't believe that this kind of thing would happen to him. Mr. Khan, tell me what you want. My request is very simple. I don't want to go home at night. It's best if I can get married within a month. Since Vados has no requirements for himself, Khan has no choice but to briefly explain his requirements. However, just when Khan Vados couldn't accept his second request, Vados smiled and said, no problem, as long as you want, we can get married tomorrow. Puff. Khan was shocked on the spot. Although Vados' words didn't make Khan jump up in shock, it still made Khan spit out the tea he just drank in his mouth. Mr. Khan, what's the matter with you? Are you all right? Frightened by Khan's violent reaction, Vados hurriedly got up and said concerned. Fine. Khan waved his hand. Nothing happened to him, but he was shocked by Vados' words. What the hell? As long as you want, you can get married tomorrow. Why doesn't Khan feel so real? But the facts in front of him made it impossible for him not to believe it. So, Khan could only say, Miss Vados, I have to explain in advance that although I am handsome and have a good personality, my family background is not good, I have no father or mother, and I usually just farm a little. To make ends meet, if you marry me, I will not be able to meet your material needs. I wonder if you can accept it. Giggle. Hearing this, Vados giggled. Vados's laughter was melodious, like the singing of a yellow warbler. What's so funny? Instead, Khan was stunned. No. Vados quickly stopped laughing and said, Mr. Khan is very honest, I like this very much, and what I want to say is that since I choose to marry you, I don't care about your family background, and I don't have any material things, demand. Besides, I'm also good at housework, so I can take some of the pressure off for you. Vados added. Heard the words. Khan patted his face, it was like a dream. If you want to look good, have a good figure, and be able to do housework, the key is that you don't have any requirements for yourself, and you don't dislike your family background. This riding horse is a fairy. Immediately, Khan jumped up. Happy. I just like your temper. Since Miss Vados is fine, it seems that I can't justify not marrying you. This moment, Khan already has a strong sense of anticipation for this marriage. A beautiful, kind, understanding, gentle and virtuous wife is simply what Khan has dreamed of for many years. If there is a wife like this, what can the husband ask for? Immediately, Khan chatted with Vados for a long time. It's nothing more than chatting about the interests and hobbies of both parties. As for relationships, they can be cultivated slowly after marriage. Khan is not in a hurry, and Vados is not in a hurry. At last, after discussions between Khan and Vados, they decided to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the certificate in the afternoon, and the wedding will be held 3 days later. The outskirts of Western capital. There is a 1-hectare vegetable garden and a very ordinary mushroom house. This is Khan's home in Exedu. And his estate. Since Son Goku and Chi-Chi got married, Khan also moved out of Baozi Mountain and settled in Exedu without disturbing their two-person world. Khan, how is the blind date with Miss Vados going? Seeing Khan coming back, Chi-Chi got up quickly and asked urgently. All the best. Khan nodded with a smile, and then took out the certificate he had just received with Vados at the Exedu Civil Affairs Bureau. Seeing the marriage certificate, Chi-Chi was dumbfounded. She glanced at the marriage certificate carefully, and said in surprise, "You got the marriage certificate so quickly, it seems that you and Miss Vados had a very good chat." After being surprised, Chi-Chi also breathed a sigh of relief. For the past month, she has been torn about Khan's marriage. Now I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Khan poured himself a glass of water, took a sip, and said just now, "It's really speculative, and this Miss Vados is also very good. I have nothing to dissatisfy, she is also very satisfied with me, so we will give the marriage certificate to you Khan." Great, Chi-Chi smiled and said, "Then Khan, when are you and Miss Vados going to have your wedding?" "In 3 days. Khan said, "It would be nice to invite friends and relatives you know." So fast. Chi-Chi was surprised again. Khan and Vados, this is not a flash marriage, it is a marriage at the speed of light. Get the certificate on the day of the blind date, and hold the wedding 3 days later, the speed of light is not so fast. But that's good, at least Khan's lifelong event is settled. By the way, Chi-Chi, I'm going to be busy with the wedding these days, so I have to trouble you to inform everyone for me. People that Khan knew, Chi-Chi basically knew too. So it's just right to leave it to her. Chi-Chi has no problem with this, anyway, this month has been here, and she doesn't care about making another trip. Then, Khan was busy organizing the wedding, while Chi-Chi was in charge of notifying the Earth Z fighters. Western Capital Universal Capsules Company. In the huge yard. The Brives are spending their free time. And in the living room. What did you say? Khan is getting married. Hearing the news from Chi-Chi that Khan will hold a wedding in 3 days, Bulma took the case on the spot. This news was like a bolt from the blue to her. "Bulma, don't get so excited, I'm just here to inform you on Khan's behalf, it's up to you whether you want to come to the wedding or not. If there's nothing wrong, I'll go and inform the others first." Chi-Chi also understands Bulma's feelings, after all, she is Khan's ex-girlfriend. Now that I hear that Khan is getting married, it is normal to be emotional. But whether to come to Khan's wedding depends on whether Bulma himself wants to come. After Chi-Chi left, Bulma covered her face with one hand, she felt like the sky was falling. She broke up with Khan before, not because of a broken relationship, but because they didn't have much time to spend together. She had to be busy with her career, and Khan was also busy with cultivation. So they broke up amicably. How can this be? Bulma's eyelashes drooped slightly, and her blue-green eyes were overshadowed. She thought that sooner or later she and Khan would get back together, but in the end, Chi-Chi came to tell her today, Khan is getting married. And the wedding is going to be held in 3 days. Apparently this is a done deal. Why? Why didn't Khan come to her when he wanted to get married? If Khan came to her and proposed to get back together and get married, she would say yes without hesitation. However, Khan didn't come to her even on a blind date. Could it be that Khan really doesn't have any feelings for her? Bulma can't believe it. She couldn't believe that Khan really didn't have the slightest feeling for her anymore. After informing Khan that Khan was going to get married, Chi-Chi returned to Baozishan's home at night. Brother Khan is getting married. It's a surprise so soon. Son Goku was also taken aback when he learned from Chi-Chi that Khan was about to get married. It's just a blind date today, but the wedding is going to be held in 3 days. This speed can be said to be unprecedented, and it will be difficult for anyone to come after it. Chi-Chi solemnly warned. Goku, it's your brother's wedding, dress me more formally then, don't wear your training clothes anymore. Son Goku scratched his head and said with a playful smile, ha ha ha, I got it, Chi-Chi. IG 761 September 10th. Today is the wedding day of Khan and Vados. Metropolitan Cathedral, at noon. Son Goku, Chi-Chi, Ox King, Yamcha, Kling, Tien Shinhan and others have all been present. The priest is also in place. Of all the people Khan knew, the only one who didn't make it to Khan and Vados' wedding was Bulma. Bulma didn't come, and almost everyone knew the reason, so everyone tacitly kept silent about it. When the time came to 12 noon, two figures appeared at the door of the church, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. Khan was wearing a black tuxedo, with a sunny smile on his handsome face. A modest gentleman, as gentle as jade. Vados is wearing a white wedding dress, with a long skirt dragging on the red carpet, like a fairy from heaven and earth, with a quiet and elegant temperament in the cold. Vados took Khan's arm and slowly walked into the church under the eyes of everyone. At this moment, Khan and Vados undoubtedly became the focus of attention throughout. Handsome men and beautiful women are a perfect match. When the two newcomers Khan and Vados entered the church, Son Goku and others stood up one after another, their eyes following their steps. Everyone's faces were filled with happy and bright smiles, and at the same time, they also sent the most devout blessings to the couple today. The wedding scene may not be so lively, but the festive atmosphere is full. Khan and Vados also smiled and waved frequently to respond to the blessings from relatives and friends. I do. Finally, under the auspices of the priest, Khan and Vados completed the ring exchange ceremony. After the ring exchange ceremony, under the booing and witness of the crowd, Khan and Vados completed their wedding kiss. After, Khan, Vados and Son Goku returned to Khan's house from the Western Capital Cathedral. The wedding ceremony is over, and the next step is naturally to entertain relatives and friends. Although there were not many guests, Khan still prepared a rich meal to entertain everyone. Has been busy until the evening, Son Goku and others left one by one. Khan, don't worry about practicing Kung Fu tonight, and spend time with your bride. Goku and I will leave first, so we won't bother you. Before leaving, Chi-Chi made a special reminder. Then he left with Son Goku. So far, in the 100 square meter mushroom house, only the new couple Khan and Vados remained. In the wedding room, according to the custom of his previous life, Khan also decorated the wedding room in red to show the celebration. Vados sat dignifiedly and elegantly in front of the dressing table. Crunch. At this time, the door was pushed open and Khan walked in. Husband. Vados got up and yelled sweetly. There was a faint but blissful smile on her delicate and flawless pretty face. Looking at this fair-skinned and beautiful wife who looks like a fairy, Khan still felt that it was not so real for a while. He just got married like this, and the person he will be with for the rest of his life is a beautiful woman. Khan is not unprepared. The purpose of his blind date is to rush for a flash marriage. However, he still had an indescribable feeling in his heart. How to say? It felt like a dream. Vados, such a beautiful, gentle and virtuous beauty, married him like this. Husband, does it feel a little unreal? Vados raised his willow eyebrows, and his voice was as sweet as a silver bell. She seemed to see through Khan's mind. Khan came back to his senses, waved his hand, and said, "Bah, my wife, there are many people who are better than me in the world, and you have the conditions to choose better ones, why is it me?" Yes, with Vados' appearance and figure, coupled with her cool and elegant temperament and gentle, virtuous, and understanding character. Even if she is also in a hurry to get married, then she is fully qualified to choose a better blind date. Why is it me? Vados smiled and asked back, "Honey, do you need a reason to like someone?" Khan was taken aback. For a while, I was speechless. You really don't need a reason to like someone, even just a glance, you may fall in love with someone. This starts with looks. As for whether it is suitable or not, it depends on how you get along after marriage. The next day, the sun broke through the horizon and poured the first ray of sunlight onto the earth. Everything began to recover, but Khan hadn't woken up yet, and Khan didn't wake up from his sleep until 9 o'clock in the morning. Ding! When Setsuna woke up from a dream, a mechanical electronic notification sounded in Khan's mind. Because the host meets the prerequisites for opening the sign-in system, the sign-in system is officially activated. Hearing the system prompt sound in his mind, Khan immediately sat up from the bed. After listening to the system's self-introduction, Khan also had a preliminary understanding of his cheat. Simply put, this is a check-in system. You can sign in every day to get sign-in rewards, but the rewards for signing in every day are not too generous. Sign-in rewards like 1 month or 1 year are generous. In addition, there will also be special rewards for signing in at different places and locations. Okay, Better to have cheats than none. With just 1 month left until Raditz arrives on Earth, it's not too late to officially activate the system. System, check-in daily. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the daily check-in and getting the daily check-in reward, 50 combat power improvement card. Ding. The host completes the first check-in and gets an additional reward, Advanced Saiyan Bloodline. Hey, there are unexpected gains. Khan was overjoyed. This so-called Advanced Saiyan Bloodline is to enhance one's fighting talent and potential. Simply put, it is to improve the foundation. After Fusion got the high-level Saiyan blood, Khan's background grew from a low-level fighter to a genius fighter. Coupled with the 50-point combat power improvement card that is signed in every day, Khan's strength has been greatly improved in an instant. Host, Khan. Age, 25 years old. Bloodline, Advanced Saiyan Bloodline. Combat power, 750. Skills, breath control, flying technique. That's 750 combat power. The needle doesn't poke. Khan couldn't help but burst into ecstasy seeing his almost qualitatively changed fighting power. Before that, his combat strength could barely break through 300. Not even Son Goku and Piccolo of the same period. Of the current 750 combat power, 50 points are from the combat power improvement card, and the rest is the change in combat power brought about by fusion with the high-level Saiyan blood. If I remember correctly, Raditz's combat power is around 1500, according to this speed. Khan pondered for a moment. Even if his reward for signing in every day is only a 50-point combat power improvement card, plus his daily practice for a period of time, he will definitely be able to beat Raditz in a month. Not to mention anything else, even if he doesn't practice for a month, just by signing in every day to gain 50 points of combat strength, his combat strength will break 2000 in a month. No more Raditz, nothing to fear. Raditz is no longer a threat, but at the same time, the system is turned on, and the future can be expected. Yesterday I married a fair and beautiful wife. Khan feels that the air is extraordinarily fresh today, so happy. Speaking of which, I dreamed of that person again last night. Returning to his senses, Khan rubbed his temples, thinking carefully about the face that appeared in his dream last night. But he couldn't remember it anyway. Recently, he has often dreamed of a woman. In the dream, he married that woman, and they loved each other, and their lives were very sweet. But even in the dream, the face of the woman he married was not clear. Because Khan has never seen this person, her face is very ambiguous. Khan's dream can't fully reproduce her face. He only knows that this woman is beautiful. It also has the same cool and elegant temperament as Vados. He also seems to be about the same height as Vados. How could it be Vados? Khan shook his head, trying to get rid of distracting thoughts in his mind. It would be ridiculous if the woman he married in his dream was his real wife Vados. Even a 3-year-old would not believe it, let alone an adult Khan. And he had dreamed several times before meeting Vados. There can't be such a coincidence in the world. No, I can't dream of her anymore, or I'm sorry for my wife. Falling in love with and marrying other women in a dream is not unfaithful to one's real wife. So Khan decided that he must never dream of that woman again in the future. When he came back to his senses, Khan belatedly realized that his new wife, Vados, was no longer in the room. Crunch. Just when Khan was puzzled, the door was pushed open. Vados appeared in Khan's sight. Today's Vados put on a white t-shirt and shorts, coupled with her slender and proud figure, it is even more attractive. Husband is really a lazy pig. I just woke up now. I've already made breakfast. Get up and eat. Vados does not speak like he has only known Khan for just 3 days, but more like a lover who has been in love with Khan for a long time. Khan was startled, and then said with a dry smile, "Okay." After washing, looking at the table full of breakfast, Khan was shocked. Vados seemed to have sensed Khan's surprise, so he explained, "Husband, I saw that you and your uncle ate so much yesterday, so I guess your appetite should be quite large, so I prepared these for you. If you think it's too much, I will do less from tomorrow." In fact, in the precognitive dream, Vados knew how exaggerated Khan's appetite was, and she explained it just so that Khan would not be suspicious. "Not too much, thank you for your hard work," Khan said. Until this moment, Khan had to admit that Vados really cared about him, and it was only the first day that she noticed her appetite problem. What a gentle and considerate woman. It seems that I can't treat others badly. After dinner, Khan said, "My wife, I have worked hard on you this morning. You can rest for a while. I will go to the woods to practice for a while, and I will come back to accompany you later." Although the system is turned on, the practice cannot be left behind. This is a habit that Khan has maintained for 20 years, and even if he wants to change it, he will not be able to change it for a while. Vados shook his head and said, "I'm not tired, husband, I want to watch you practice, can I?" This. Khan thought for a while, then nodded, "Okay." Behind the Khan mushroom house is his vegetable garden, and behind the vegetable garden is a small hill and forest. This is where Khan usually practices. Khan is doing daily practice. Since his combat power skyrocketed overnight, Khan's fists and feet have become more powerful and imposing. Strange, my husband's physique improved a lot overnight. Vados naturally noticed the changes in Khan's physique. She secretly said, "Could it be because of my angel physique?" Having love with Khan last night, she has tried her best to hide her angel power so as not to affect Khan. After all, Khan is an ordinary human being and cannot withstand her angel power. But Khan's physique improved a lot overnight. Maybe it's affected by my angel physique. For this, Vados can only explain in this way, otherwise she would not be able to explain why Khan's physique and strength improved so much overnight. Although it has affected Khan, judging from the current situation, her influence on Khan seems to be only beneficial and harmless. That's not too bad. Bang bang bang. As Khan waved his punches and kicks, the air exploded, and invisible air waves swept out, and all the big trees along the way were cut off in the middle. Husband, it seems that the effect you have obtained from this kind of practice is very small. Why don't you try to train physically? When Khan was getting excited, Vados said suddenly. Although Khan's physique improved a lot overnight, he was still too weak in the eyes of Vados. According to Khan, the effect of practicing against the air is almost negligible. If you want to improve your strength quickly, you must carry out physical training to improve your foundation and foundation. What, you still know how to practice? Khan stopped practicing and said in surprise. Khan didn't know that the effect of his practice was very small, but his conditions did not allow it. He'd like to ask Bulma to build him a gravity training room, but well. Money is not the problem is no money. I've seen the relevant content in the book, so I know a little bit about it. Vados explained with a smile. I see. Khan thought for a while, and said, "Honey, go back to the house and rest first, I'll go to your uncle's place." Khan thought, since he doesn't have the financial ability to ask Bulma to build a gravity training room for him, it's better to train against Son Goku. This is much better than practicing against the air by yourself. Then, Khan went to Bowsy Mountain, and Vados returned to the mushroom house. Although he didn't go with him, it's not a problem for Vados to observe Khan. She stretched out her hand, and Angel's staff flashed out, followed by a light curtain refracted out. In the light curtain is the picture of Bowsy Mountain. Since Son Goku also practiced every day, after Khan arrived, the two began to fight against each other. Boom boom boom. While Vados was watching the battle between Khan and Son Goku, there was a knock on the door. "Please come in." Vados turned his head and glanced at the door, and said lightly. "Sister Vados, I am so surprised to hear that you are married to a human being." No one else came in. It is the 7th universe angel, Whis. This Saiyan man, what is it that makes you so obsessed, Sister Vados? After observing Khan in the light curtain, Whis was puzzled. He didn't quite understand. As an angel like Vados, he only had his duty to Angel in his heart, and he didn't have any other distracting thoughts, let alone the love between human beings. Whis, you won't understand. Vados stared tenderly at Khan in the light curtain, and said without looking back. Seeing Vados' obsessed look, Whis shook his head speechlessly, and said to himself, it's really hopeless. He really doesn't understand. But looking at Vados' blissful appearance, she must be very satisfied with her current life. It's you, why did you come here? Vados asked. Whis squinted and smiled, since Lord Beerus is sleeping, I have more free time. Correct. Immediately afterwards, Whis changed the subject and said, Sister Vados, do you know the family background of your Saiyan husband? Vados shook his head and said, I don't understand, what's wrong? On the day of the blind date, Khan just told her that he had no father or mother, so Vados didn't go into it. I saw that Whis called out his angel staff and tapped it lightly. A light curtain was refracted from the crystal ball at the apex of Angel's staff, which happened on planet Vegeta in 737 IG. The Universe Emperor Frieza turned the entire planet Vegeta, as well as many Saiyans, into universe dust with one Qigong bomb. Before planet Vegeta exploded, a Saiyan warrior tried to stop Frieza. But in the end, because of his weak strength, he failed to prevent the destruction of planet Vegeta and the destruction of the Saiyan nation. This person, of course, is the father of Khan and Son Goku. Bardock. Whis rewinds the screen to the scene before the explosion of planet Vegeta, pointing to Bardock, who is unwilling to succumb to fate and resist to the death, and said, "After my investigation, this Saiyan named Bardock as the father of your husband Khan." In other words, Frieza killed Khan's father and mother. On the eve of the destruction of planet Vegeta by Frieza, Mr. Bardock and his wife, Miss Jine, sent their 2 young sons away from planet Vegeta. The older one was Khan and the younger one was Kakarot. That's your current husband and brother-in-law. Finished listening. Vados' beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, and an icy murderous intent flashed past. The temperature in the entire living room dropped instantly. Whis quickly said, "Sister Vados, we are angels, and we cannot interfere with the historical development of human beings in the universe. Besides, Mr. Khan's revenge for killing his father should not require you to avenge him." Even though Whis said so, the killing intent in Vados' eyes still didn't subside in the slightest. She said coldly, "His strength is not enough to defeat Frieza." Vados is well aware of Khan's strength, and it is undoubtedly impossible to defeat Frieza. Yes, Whis does not deny this. With Khan's current power, wanting to defeat the Universe Emperor Frieza is as ridiculous as gods of destruction wanting to overthrow Zeno. But, Sister Vados, haven't you forgotten that you are angel, and it's not easy for you to cultivate Mr. Khan's strength enough to defeat Frieza? Whis narrowed his eyes slightly, and said sharply, "Besides, I think Mr. Khan should be more willing to kill his own father and enemy with his own hands." Vados calmed down a little. Then let Frieza bounce around for a few more days. Bowsy Mountain. The battle between Khan and Son Goku is coming to an end. Khan has been controlling the fight with Son Goku on par with him, but even so Khan is disappointed to find that Son Goku's offensive has not posed much threat to him. This kind of combat training is boring, and it doesn't have much effect on cultivation. Therefore, with Khan on full breath, he beat Son Goku in one move. It hurts. Son Goku stood up from the ground again with his left and right arms, and said in surprise, "Brother Khan, why have you suddenly become so strong? Even I am no longer an opponent." Before that, Son Goku clearly remembered that Khan's strength was slightly weaker than him. But now, Khan can beat him with one move. It feels like a different person to Son Goku, so powerful. Khan fell from the sky and said flatly, "After all, I'm your brother, it's normal to be stronger than you." But, Son Goku scratched his head and said, "I remember the last time I played against you, you were still struggling. Brother Khan, you made me feel like you were playing tricks on me today. This is really unbelievable." This is indeed the summary of Son Goku's fight with Khan today. Although it seemed that he was on par with Khan in the early stage, in fact his underwear was all seen by Khan. His every move, even the attacking route and attempt, was seen through by Khan and easily cracked. In the end, even one blow defeated him. This is an all-round crush, not an evenly matched battle. So, at this moment, Son Goku can basically conclude that Khan's current strength is far above him. He didn't even know how Khan's strength suddenly improved so quickly, leaving him far behind. Khan didn't answer Son Goku's question, but just patted him on the shoulder and said with a light smile, "Practice hard, sooner or later you will become as strong as me, or even stronger." As for his younger brother, although he was also a low-level soldier. But who made him the original protagonist? Son Goku, who has the halo of the protagonist, will definitely not be able to compare with Saiyan, who was born as a low-level fighter, in the future. After finishing the combat training, Khan turned around and left Bowsy Mountain without staying too long. After leaving Bowsy Mountain, Khan came all the way to the Western Capital Universal Capsule Company. After much deliberation, Khan decided to ask Bulma to make a gravity training room. What Vados said was right. Such a method of practicing against the air had little effect, and there was no equal opponent on Earth right now. Therefore, if you want to quickly improve your strength, you can only practice through the gravity training room. As for the money issue, anyway, talk to Bulma first, I really don't want to think of another way. Magnum Capsule Company. It's Khan, it seems like you haven't been here for a long time. As for Khan's guest, Dr. Brive received him very warmly. Dr. Brive is relatively familiar with Khan. After all, it's his daughter's ex-boyfriend, how could he not be familiar with him? Khan scratched his head with a dry smile and asked, Uncle, isn't Bulma at home? Dr. Brive indicated the direction of the laboratory with his eyes, and said, You said Bulma, she seems to be in the laboratory, or you can find her yourself. Okay, sorry to bother you and your wife. Laboratory. Bulma is immersed in scientific research work. She seems to have not organized herself for several days, so that Bulma looks a little haggard today. Ever since she learned that Khan was going to marry another woman, Bulma's mood fell to the bottom instantly. In order not to feel irritable, Bulma can only conduct scientific research day and night to divert his attention. She hadn't even noticed that Khan was walking beside her. Seeing the bloodshot eyes in Bulma's eyes, Khan couldn't help but feel a little distressed. He gently said next to Bulma, Let's put down the work first and go to have a rest. Hearing Khan's voice, Bulma looked up. She stared at Khan for a few seconds, then put down the research work at hand, got up and left without saying anything. Of course Khan knew why Bulma would be so haggard. Bulma must have known the news of her marriage. Judging from the way she tortured herself, she probably hasn't forgotten herself. That's why she worked so hard on scientific research day and night that she didn't even attend her own wedding. Hey, Khan sighed softly, then followed. In the living room. Bulma sat across from Khan with a straight face and said nothing. The atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. You don't seem to welcome me. Khan broke the silence and awkward atmosphere. Bulma turned her face away, and said angrily, You're already married, why are you looking for me? You don't want me to come to you? Khan asked back. As soon as it reached the throat, it was swallowed back by Bulma. In fact, Bulma was very happy that Khan could take the initiative to come to her, but when she thought that Khan was married to another woman, she couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. After a few seconds of silence, Bulma turned his head and said, Tell me, why are you looking for me today? Are you here to laugh at me? Khan was at a loss for words. He said, In your eyes, am I this kind of person? Humph. Bulma snorted proudly, and said, Then why don't you marry me? You want to find another woman. Is it because I am not good enough for you? Of course Khan knew Bulma was angry. She is not good enough for herself. Do not make jokes. It was Khan who didn't deserve her. Who is Bulma? The world's richest man, the world's top and most outstanding scientists. The appearance and figure are also a must. As long as she wants, the best young people of the right age in the world can be arranged in the Supreme Kai world for her to choose. Khan didn't know how to answer Bulma's question. He could only say, Bulma, you are excellent, but I'm married, so it doesn't make sense to talk about it now. I came to you today to ask you to help me build a gravity training room. Practice, practice, practice again. Bulma roared in dissatisfaction. You are only thinking about your broken practice, why don't you think about me when you are looking for someone to marry? No interest, no ability, please find another master. Bulma reprimanded Khan all over his head and face, and finally turned around and left with the next sentence. Left alone and Khan tossed in the wind. This. Khan people are stupid. He didn't expect Bulma's reaction to be so big. If he knew that Bulma still had himself in his heart, why did he bother to go on a blind date? You can get back together with her directly. But it's too late to say anything now. He is married, and his new wife is still at home waiting for him to go back. Let's wait until she's emotionally stable before coming back. Khan rubbed his forehead with a headache, and didn't stay here for too long. Back home, it was already noon. Vados has already prepared a rich lunch for Khan. Husband, you are back, you must be exhausted from cultivation, come and have a meal and rest. As soon as he entered the door, Vados greeted him, holding Khan's arm and smiling. It is good. Khan nodded with a smile. Then sit down to lunch with Vados. After drinking and eating, honey, is the taste okay? After all, this is the first time I've cooked dinner for you, and I don't know if you're used to it. The taste is quite good, but the dishes are different from what I usually eat. Although the dishes made by Vados were not very appetizing, Khan still praised them. Then he said, "Honey, my cooking skills are actually not bad, I will teach you 2 tricks in the evening." Hey, my husband knows how to cook, so of course I have to learn from him. Really, she used to cook for Champa in the 6th universe, and the taste of the dishes she cooked was naturally more towards the 6th universe. As a human being in the 7th universe, Khan may not be used to her previous cooking skills. However, Khan also knows how to cook, which Vados did not expect. In the precognitive dream, Khan did not show his cooking skills. When it comes to cooking, Khan is not sleepy. He rolled up his sleeves and said with great interest, "I'll let you know what cooking is tonight." In terms of cooking skills, Khan still has certain attainments. After the death of their grandfather Son Gohan, Khan has been in charge of daily meals. Cooking by Son Goku. Then he would have starved to death. Night. Vados can also be regarded as a taste of what is called real food. The delicacies made by Khan made Vados, the angel who has lived for hundreds of millions of years and eaten countless delicacies in the 6th universe, be full of praise. She has never eaten such delicious food, and for Vados, it is simply out of this world. In front of Khan's cooking, she feels like a 3-year-old child. It was like stabbing a knife in the butt, and my eyes were wide open. Then, since that day, Vados has followed Khan to learn cooking seriously every day, learning the taste and food that Khan is used to. Under Khan's careful teaching and Vados' gastronomic talent, Vados' cooking skills have improved rapidly. In this kind of warm daily life, a month passed in a blink of an eye. This day, Khan woke up from bed as usual. System, check-in daily. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the daily check-in and getting the daily check-in reward, 100 combat power improvement card. Ding. Congratulations to the host for signing in for a full month and getting a full moon sign in reward. Ding. Congratulations to the host for signing in for a full month and get the full moon sign in reward, primary combat power improvement card. Elementary combat strength enhancement card. What is this? Khan scratched his head suspiciously. After reading the introduction, I realized that this is a combat power improvement card ranging from 100 to 3000. In other words, this card can increase combat power by at least 100 points, and up to 3000 points. It's not bad. No matter how dark it is, it cannot be the lowest value. Taking an intermediate value, as long as the use of this card can increase the combat power by 1500, Khan is very satisfied. Use the primary combat power improvement card. Ding. Successfully used the basic combat power improvement card, the host Uhuang possessed, and the combat power index increased by 2680. The system's electronic prompt sounded Satsuna, and Khan could clearly feel a surging force pouring into his body. With the injection of this surging force, Khan's limbs and cells began to cheer. Khan clenched his fists, feeling the incomparably powerful force in his body, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help but slightly raised. Bull. Host, Khan. Age, 25 years old. Bloodline, Advanced Saiyan Bloodline. Combat Strength, 5300. Skills, Breath Control, Flying Technique. The needle doesn't poke. Seeing that his combat power value has changed drastically from a month ago, Khan felt extremely comfortable. With this combat power, Khan can hang Raditz up and fight. Calculating the time, Raditz should have arrived on Earth by now. Western Great Plains. Raditz had already had a face-to-face with Piccolo. The two had a brief friendly exchange and fully exchanged opinions. And just when Raditz was about to show Piccolo what real power is, Didi, the combat power detector worn on Raditz's left eye suddenly moved. There are 2 other powerful forces. When the combat power detector detected these 2 huge forces, Raditz immediately gave up teaching Piccolo, and directly used flying technique to fly into the air. Over there, Raditz looked in a certain direction and said in surprise, "The distance is 12,990, which is very big. Quite possibly the greatest force on the planet. No mistake, it must be Khan and Kakarot. Call out." After locking onto these 2 forces, Raditz swept away and disappeared from Piccolo's sight in the blink of an eye. Thump. After Raditz left, Piccolo knelt on the ground limply, sweating and panting. The fear of confronting Raditz just now still haunts Piccolo. Impossible, I will be trapped and unable to move. Master Roshi's island in the sea. Since the meeting notice was received in advance, after a simple breakfast, Khan brought Vados to the island of Master Roshi. Shortly after Khan and Vados arrived, Bulma, Kling, Son Goku and Son Gohan also arrived. After a month of precipitation, Bulma gradually accepted the fact that Khan was married. The thing is, she and Vados get on pretty well. After Khan's introduction, Bulma and Vados began to chat like old friends who hadn't seen each other for many years. Goku, have you been practicing Kung Fu recently? Khan chatted with his brother Son Goku. I haven't practiced much recently. Son Goku scratched his head and said, because Chi-Chi recently asked me to go out to work to support the family, so I have less time to practice. Khan nodded and warned, in terms of earning money to support your family, you really have to take on the responsibility of a man. You can't just focus on practicing martial arts and put all the burden of the family on Chi-Chi. Son Goku laughed and said, understood, I will help. In the next moment, a powerful chi appeared in the perception of Khan and Son Goku almost at the same time. Dad, what's the matter? What's wrong? Seeing that Khan and Son Goku reacted at the same time, everyone turned their attention to Khan and Son Goku. There is a strong aura coming towards us, Son Goku said with a serious face. Feeling this powerful aura, even if the opponent has not yet arrived, Son Goku is already an enemy. Up there, Khan looked up, and saw a black shadow falling rapidly from above the clouds, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. Who is it? Coming. Tread. A few seconds later, a muscular figure with 5 big and 3 thick bodies landed right in front of Khan, Son Goku and others. He has long black hair, a combat power detector over his left eye, and a fluffy tan tail coiled around his waist. This person is Raditz. Oops. With the appearance of Raditz, Vados seemed to be frightened. He moved around and hid behind Khan tremblingly, with a frightened expression on his face. Husband, who is this person? He looks very unfriendly. Khan waved his hand, signaling her not to panic. We finally met. Raditz's eyes fell on Khan and Son Goku, and the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Although you have grown up, I still recognize you at a glance. Khan, Kakarot. Son Goku was immediately confused. What happened? What is this man talking about? Kling and Master Roshi were also taken aback by Raditz's words. Khan, they do know, who is Kakarot? Raditz did not answer the doubts of Kling and others, but said to Khan and Son Goku in a questioning tone, Khan, Kakarot, what happened to this planet? Isn't your mission to destroy all human beings on the earth? What are you playing? What game? Heard the words, Son Goku was even more confused. He looked at Khan and said, Brother Khan, what is he talking about? At this time, Khan, who had been silent for a long time, finally spoke up. Raditz, is your head caught by the door? Are you sure that Kakarot and I came to Earth with the mission of destroying the human beings on this planet? You can lie to yourself, but don't lie to me and Kakarot. Oh, Raditz raised his eyebrows and grinned. It seems you still remember me, Khan, so things will be easier. Brother Khan, what's going on? Yeah, Khan, what the hell are you talking about? Son Goku and Bulma asked almost in unison. They couldn't understand what Khan and Raditz were talking about. Fighting tribe. Saiyan. After Khan's concise explanation, Son Goku finally figured out his life experience. At the same time, Bulma, Kling and Master Roshi were also shocked by the real-life experience of Khan and Son Goku. Turn out to be, Khan and Son Goku are not from Earth, but from a Saiyan called Planet Vegeta in the universe. Now they finally figured out why Khan and Son Goku had tails different from those on Earth, and why they turned into a brutal great ape after looking at the full moon. Honey, do you mind this? At this point, Khan no longer hides the fact that he is not from Earth to Vados. Vados shook his head and said, No, I don't care if my husband is from Earth, as long as it's you. Thanks. Khan thought that Vados would mind this matter, but now it seems that he is completely overthinking. If Khan and Goku are from the universe, how did they end up on Earth? At this time, Kling questioned. He was still a little bit incredulous about the fact that Khan and Son Goku were from beyond Earth. The answer is simple. Raditz smiled grimly. They were sent here to kill everyone on this planet. We Saiyan are a fighting nation with high self-esteem. After all human beings are wiped out, then sell it at a high price to aliens who want to find planets to live in. This is our job. Planets with high combat capabilities are directly attacked by adult fighters. For low-level planets like Earth, we send children to destroy that planet, like Khan and Kakarot. As soon as Raditz's words came out, everyone except Khan and Vados was directly shocked. Cold sweat broke out on Keelan's forehead, and he said in a deep voice, "If what he said is true, then they are too cruel. They are just messing around, and Piccolo is much cuter in comparison." Son Goku also couldn't accept it. He said, "Even if I come from an alien planet, that guy called Kakarot, even if you are my big brother, these have nothing to do with me. My big brother is only Khan. I'm from Earth. My name is Son Goku. I grew up here. Son Goku, go back." Son Goku has long since forgotten Saiyan's cruel nature due to a head bump when he was a child, and now he is a kind-hearted Earthling. Therefore, it is impossible for the current Son Goku to accept that he is a murderous Saiyan. Raditz, tread. At this time, Khan directly stepped forward, stared at Raditz, and said coldly, "If you are still lying to the third brother here, then don't blame me for being rude to you. You said that Kakarot and I are here to kill the entire planet. Humans. Then let me ask you, do you know how planet Vegeta was destroyed?" To Khan's question, Raditz replied without hesitation. Planet Vegeta was of course destroyed by a meteorite impact explosion. At that time, all the Saiyans on planet Vegeta turned into universe dust and disappeared, including our parents. There was no sadness on Raditz's face as he said this. Hear. Vados can hardly listen anymore. What was destroyed by the impact and explosion of the meteorite was obviously destroyed by Frieza. Even the Saiyan nation was wiped out by Frieza. However, the surviving Saiyan thought that planet Vegeta was destroyed by the impact and explosion of a meteorite. If this is the case, it would be too distressing. Vados couldn't help but exert a little force on Khan's arm. She wanted to tell Khan the truth, but she couldn't. Khan gently grabbed Vados' little hand, signaling her not to be nervous. Immediately, Khan sneered and sneered. "Oh, my stupid big brother, do you really think that the destruction of planet Vegeta and the Saiyan nation was caused by a meteorite impact? If you really think so, then you are too naive. Gone." "What did you say?" Raditz frowned. Khan looked serious, and said convincingly, "The so-called meteorite impact is just a lie that Frieza used to lie to you and Vegeta. The truth is that planet Vegeta was destroyed by Frieza, and the Saiyan nation, including our parents, was also killed by Frieza. Quote, and you are still working for the enemy who killed our parents. It's really sad and ridiculous." As soon as Khan's words came out, the audience was shocked. Instead, Vados breathed a sigh of relief. She thought Khan was also kept in the dark. It seems he knows the truth of the matter. In this way, Vados was relieved, and she couldn't bear to see her husband kept in the dark. "What? This is impossible." Raditz stepped back a few steps, his pupils constricted, and his mind was shocked. He was so shocked by Khan's words. It turns out that the destruction of planet Vegeta was not caused by a meteorite impact, but by Frieza. Khan let out a cold snort, and continued, "Also, the reason why Kakarot and I were sent to Earth was not the shitty mission you said to kill all humans on this planet, but to take refuge. As early as the eve before Frieza was about to destroy planet Vegeta, our father noticed Frieza's intentions, so he sent me and Kakarot to Earth for refuge overnight." Recalling that night more than 20 years ago, Khan's expression gradually became sad. "That night, he told me and Kakarot that if his intuition was wrong, he would take me and Kakarot back, but 20 years ago years passed, and Kakarot and I never waited for him to pick us up on planet Vegeta." Having said that, Khan couldn't help clenching his fists with slightly trembling hands. Vados also noticed Khan's strangeness, and asked concerned, "Honey, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Khan shook his head, forcibly suppressing the anger in his heart. "Frieza, he wants to cut it with his own hands, otherwise, he will not be able to comfort the spirits of his father Bardock and mother Jain." After listening to Khan's words, Bulma and others were also in an uproar. It turns out that this is the real reason why Khan and Son Goku were sent to Earth, not because they were sent to kill all humans on Earth as Raditz said. Although Bulma is not Khan, she can also understand Khan's mood at the moment. If Bardock hadn't sent him and Son Goku to Earth in time, I'm afraid Khan and Son Goku wouldn't be here now. In order to protect his two sons well, Bardock died at the hands of Frieza. Having such a father, as a son must be very proud. But looking at Raditz's appearance, why doesn't he seem to care at all? Brother Khan. Son Goku stared blankly at Khan. At this moment, he was shocked beyond measure. If he didn't believe what Raditz said, he had to believe what Khan said. He and Khan grew up together, and Son Goku still trusts Khan's words. Khan waved his hand, motioning Son Goku to stop talking. At this time, Raditz has also recovered from the shock. Hee ha 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 ha. Raditz suddenly looked up and laughed. After laughing, Raditz looked back at Khan. So what if that's the truth? The past is the past, and we should look forward to the present. It is my honor to serve King Frieza. Raditz then extended his hand to Khan and Son Goku, inviting, "Come on, Khan, Kakarot, join us and serve King Frieza together. The Saiyan nation is extinct and we survived. The Saiyans should stick together, shouldn't they? You think you are proud of killing your father and enemy. It seems that your brain is really caught by the door. Forgive me and Kakarot for not agreeing with your concept." Khan said coldly. "Kakarot and I will not play for Frieza. Get out, Kakarot, and I will be without your big brother." Son Goku also yelled, "Raditz, stop dreaming there, we won't help you." I see. Raditz was not surprised by Khan and Son Goku's responses. His eyes shifted slightly, and he landed on Vados beside Khan, and said with a sneer, "I said, why are you so happy with the humans here on this low-level planet? This is your wife, right? As long as you don't think about it, you and Kakarot will follow me obediently." Raditz is very smart. Judging from just now, Son Goku obviously listens to Khan more. As long as Khan is settled, Kakarot will surely join them. Finished. Raditz strode towards Vados with a grin on his face. "Ah, husband, he is so scary." In an instant, Vados was so frightened that his face turned pale and his face paled. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Khan shielded Vados behind him, and a flash of anger flashed in his dark eyes at the same time. At the same time, under everyone's gaze, Raditz appeared in front of Khan in an instant, and blasted Khan mercilessly with a knee bump. Puff! There was a muffled sound, and Raditz's knee slammed into Khan's stomach. But Khan did not fly upside down as Raditz expected, but stood still, motionless. What? Startled, Raditz looked up abruptly. I saw Khan's eyes were gloomy, and a pair of extremely cold eyes were staring at him. At this moment, Raditz felt a chill down his spine, as if falling into an ice cave. Boom! In the next second, Khan stopped hiding his aura and burst out all his aura. Good! What a powerful force! When Khan released his breath, Son Goku's pupils shrank suddenly, and his mind was shocked. I haven't seen it for just a month. Has Khan's power become so strong? This young man, what a powerful force! This is the most powerful chi I have ever felt in my life. Master Roshi was also shocked beyond measure. Khan's breath is like a bottomless pit, he can't perceive the limit of Khan's breath at all. Judging from the chi released by Khan, Khan's strength is not at the same level as theirs. This is amazing. The bald Klin was even more frightened and sat down on the beach. He looked shocked and broke out in a cold sweat. Didi. At the same time, the combat power detector on Raditz's left eye also moved. Under Raditz's astonished eyes, Khan's combat power value continued to soar, and soon broke through the 2000 mark. Combat power, 2000. Wrong. Just when Raditz thought that Khan's combat power was only 2000, the value on the combat power detector continued to soar. 2005, 3000, 3005. 4000, 4000. This is impossible. Raditz stomped back a few steps, his face turned pale with fright at Khan's soaring combat power. But Khan's fighting power continues to soar. Didi. Soon, Khan's combat power broke through 5000, and finally settled at the terrifying value of 5003. Combat strength, 5003. Raditz couldn't believe his eyes. Shocked, Raditz tore off the combat power detector on his left eye and crushed it. Impossible. Khan's combat strength cannot be 5003. It must be an instrument failure. He was born as a high-level fighter, but now he is only worth 1500 combat effectiveness, but Khan, who was born as a lower-level fighter, actually has 5300 combat effectiveness. Raditz couldn't believe it. The combat power detector must be malfunctioning. Being submissive in front of Vegeta and Frieza, and punching hard in front of brothers, why do I need a big brother like you? Khan's expression was stern, and his tone was cold. Kakarot, and I don't recognize you, stupid big brother, you will pay the price for what you just did. Originally, Khan didn't want to get rough on Raditz. But he actually wanted to do something to his wife. Uncle can bear it, aunt can't bear it, even his younger siblings can attack, this kind of big brother, don't mind. When the words fell, Khan shot suddenly with a thunderbolt. Puff! Immediately afterwards, a muffled sound suddenly sounded. Raditz's body froze suddenly, his pupils widened, and his eyes moved down slightly. I saw that Khan's fist was deeply sunk into his lower abdomen, and the terrifying power penetrated into the body along Khan's fist. Raditz's body is like a mirror, fragmented. PFF'd. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and Raditz's fragmented body was not strong enough to support him, so he fell to his knees. With just one punch, Khan hit Raditz hard. This is the crushing brought about by the gap in strength. Khan grabbed Raditz's hair, raised his head, and said condescendingly, "You dare to touch my woman? You are really promising, Raditz. Tell me, how disappointed will your parents be if they see you looking like a coward?" Facing the threat of death, Raditz, who was still invincible just now, finally panicked. Although he was domineering, he still couldn't overcome the fear of death. "Yes, I'm sorry, Khan, I was wrong." Raditz begged for mercy tremblingly. "For the sake of my parents, let me go." Khan said angrily, "Now I know I think of my parents. When you heard the news of their death, what was your reaction? Tell me, what was your reaction? Do you feel any sadness for them? Tell me, do you?" Chapter 11. Facing Khan's soul torture, Raditz was speechless. Yes, when he learned that planet Vegeta was destroyed, and that Bardock and Giant turned into universe dust along with planet Vegeta, Raditz felt nothing in his heart, and even wanted to laugh a little. Because to him, it didn't matter if Bardock and Giant were dead or not. The important thing is that he himself is still alive. After hesitating for a moment, Raditz still bit the bullet and said, "Of course I feel sad for my father and mother, but the dead cannot be resurrected, right? Khan." Khan couldn't help scoffing at Raditz's words. "Sad? You are sad and lonely." Moreover, Khan does not agree with the saying that people cannot be resurrected after death. In the world of Dragon Ball, people can be resurrected after death, and there is more than one way. But Khan didn't bother to refute him, but sent another soul torture to him. "Then tell me, why did you work for your father and mother's murderer for more than 20 years? Are you worthy of them?" Raditz shivered. Khan, before this, I didn't know." "Don't know, then you know now." Khan said coldly, "Raditz, for the sake of father and mother, I will give you a chance to live." Heard the words, Raditz was suddenly ecstatic. It doesn't matter if he admits to Khan now, as long as he can survive. Anyway, there are still many opportunities to avenge his shame in the future. Where there is life, there is hope. However, Khan's next words made Raditz stunned. I only heard Khan say, "Since you are working under Frieza now, you must have a lot of opportunities to contact Frieza, kill Frieza, and bring his head to me, otherwise I will personally send you to hell to apologize to your parents." Quote, "Don't expect to escape. As long as you are still alive, no matter where you are, I can easily find you. Believe me, I can easily do these things." As soon as Khan's words came out, Raditz's scalp couldn't help but tingle, and he shuddered fiercely. To kill Frieza, what is the difference between this and death? It's just the difference between dying by Khan and dying by Frieza. Khan's words seemed to be mocking Raditz. "You are too happy." But does Raditz have a choice? No choice. He could only bite the bullet and agree to leave the Earth alive first. Only by leaving the Earth alive can he have a chance to stand up. Seeing that Raditz agreed, Khan naturally stopped killing him, but what happened just now is not over yet. "My wife is timid, you scared her just now, apology." "Yes, I'm sorry, brother and sister, I was wrong just now, please forgive me." Although very reluctant, under the threat of Khan's 5003 terrorist fighting power, Raditz had to bow his head to Vados and admit his mistake. Vados didn't respond, just shrank behind Khan, as if afraid of Raditz. "Okay, you can go now." After sending Raditz aboard the Universe spacecraft and leaving Earth, Khan returned to Master Roshi's Sea Island. Seeing Son Goku staring at him, Khan couldn't help asking, Goku, do you have anything to say? Khan can also guess that Son Goku must have something to ask himself, it should be about Bardock and Jine. However, Son Goku shook his head after a little thought. Anyway, he has already figured out his life experience. From the conversation between Khan and Raditz just now, he also learned that his parents have also been dead for more than 20 years. It doesn't make much sense to ask Bardock and Jine about it now. For now, it's enough for him and Khan to live on Earth. After a pause, Son Goku suddenly asked, Brother Khan, will Raditz bother us? Khan looked at the sky and said thoughtfully, who knows, maybe it will, or maybe it won't. However, to be on the safe side, you still have to step up your cultivation and improve your strength to deal with dangers that may occur at any time. You must know that this world is not as peaceful as it appears on the surface. Son Goku nodded solemnly and said, Understood, Brother Khan. Husband, I always feel that Raditz will come back again, is it my illusion? In the evening, Vados, who returned home, was a little worried. She felt that Khan should have killed Raditz today instead of letting the tiger go home. From her observations of Raditz, Raditz is by no means the kind of person who is frightened by Khan. Khan said, Don't feel it, he will definitely come back again. Then you. Vados didn't understand. Since he knew that Raditz would come back again, why did he let him go today? Khan smiled calmly and said, My wife, don't worry, I naturally have my plan to let him go back. How to catch big fish without putting a long line. Khan knew Raditz better than anyone, and he couldn't possibly assassinate Frieza when he went back, and even if he did, he couldn't succeed. After all, the strength gap between Raditz and Frieza lies there. After Raditz returns, there is a high probability that Vegeta and Nappa will be gathered to return to Earth. This is for sure. Vados nodded with a smile. Well, I trust my husband. Waiting for Khan to take a shower in the bathroom, Vados took out Angel's staff and contacted her brother, trainee Angel Myers. It's Sister Vados, what's wrong? Myers was both surprised and surprised by Vados' call. Vados narrowed his beautiful eyes and said, Myers, you are a galactic patrolman in the 7th universe, I remember correctly. Yes, very good. Vados urged. Take advantage of your position and help me keep an eye on a Saiyan named Raditz. He just left Earth today on a spaceship called Universe. Please keep me informed if he makes any moves. Saiyan Raditz. Myers pondered for a while, and said, Okay, I see, I will pay attention. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just in case. It's not that Vados doesn't trust Khan, but he does so to ensure Khan's safety. If Raditz comes back with someone far stronger than Khan, then she will have to intervene. After all, she didn't want to see her husband's life in any danger. Anyone who might threaten Khan's life, she must eradicate. The Milky Way, Frieza no. 0.79 planets. Crunch. The hatch of the healing device opened slowly, and the revived Raditz jumped out of it. Raditz, tell me why you came back in such a mess. In front of Raditz, there are Vegeta and Nappa. It was Vegeta who spoke. Half a month ago, Raditz's universe spaceship carried him back to planet Frieza number 79, because Raditz was seriously injured and dying, so Vegeta could only put him in a healing device for treatment. After half a month of treatment, Raditz was finally cured. At the same time, Vegeta has also developed a strong interest in Raditz's trip to the Earth. What did Raditz go through on Earth to come back in such a mess? Vegeta, Nappa. Raditz was slightly taken aback, then his expression turned cold, and he recounted his experiences on Earth back then. Does your younger brother named Khan actually have 5,003 fighting strength? It's incredible. Nappa was slightly surprised. Because Khan was born as a low-level fighter and grew up on a low-level planet like Earth, his combat power can reach 5,003, which is a bit unexpected. Vegeta said disapprovingly. HMPH, the mere 5,003's combat power is nothing to be afraid of. Have you heard the news about the Dragon Ball? Vegeta is more concerned about the Dragon Ball than Khan, who is 5,003 fighting. Because he sent Raditz to Earth before, not only to win over Khan and Son Goku, but the most important thing is Dragon Ball. Don't look at Vegeta playing under Frieza now, but in fact he has always wanted to turn himself into a serf and sing. After all, Vegeta is a Saiyan prince with his own arrogance. A real man was born between the heaven and the earth, how can he live in depression for a long time? But if he wanted to reverse Frieza, Vegeta couldn't do it with his current strength. Of course, Vegeta knew this very well, so he wanted to use the power of Dragon Ball to do it. Heard the words. Raditz was taken aback for a moment, then nodded and said, "Yes, I have heard about Dragon Balls. Dragon Balls do exist on Earth." In fact, Raditz never had time to find out about the Dragon Ball when he went to Earth. He said that just to get Vegeta to go to Earth. What about Wuxian-san's combat effectiveness? In front of Vegeta, Khan was also powerless to fight back. Raditz is well aware of this, so he wants to kill Khan with the help of Vegeta. Let him go and kill Frieza. Don't be kidding, it's no different from dying. Raditz doesn't have the guts, let alone the strength. Therefore, in order to save his own life, Raditz can only use Vegeta's hand to kill Khan, and he can only live if Khan is dead. Is the news true? Vegeta asked in doubt. Yes. In order not to let Vegeta see the flaw, Raditz vowed, "The news I found out is that the Dragon Ball on Earth can grant any wish." The corner of Vegeta's mouth raised. Very well, let's go to Earth immediately. Whoosh. In the universe space, 3 miniature universe spaceships flashed past like comets, leaving 3 long tail flames in the universe space. These 3 miniature universe ships carry Vegeta, Nappa and Raditz. At the same time, Galactic Patrol Headquarters, Myers, who has been paying attention to Raditz's movements, also discovered the movements of the 3 of Vegeta, so he immediately reported the matter to Vados. "How strong is that Vegeta?" Vados asked. Myers replied, "According to the records of the Galactic Patrol, Saiyan Prince Vegeta's combat effectiveness is around 18,000. That's it, I see, thank you Myers." After speaking, Vados hung up the call with Myers. Vegeta's combat power of 18,000 is more than 10,000 higher than that of Khan. But in fact, Vados is not so worried, because Khan's strength has grown by leaps and bounds recently. Since the Vegeta trio are about a year away from reaching Earth, it only needs to be that Khan surpasses Vegeta within a year. On this point, Vados has no doubts. Even if Khan can't do it himself, she can give Khan some help. So where is Khan now? In Magnum Capsule's company. Yesterday Bulma notified Khan and told him to come and pick up the gravity training room today. Although Bulma said that she had no ability or interest, she actually helped Khan develop the gravity training room. "Here, it took me a lot of effort to make this, so don't break it." Bulma handed over an exquisite universal capsule box, crossing his arms and saying. After receiving the universal capsule box, Khan praised with a smile, "Bulma, thank you, you are indeed the most outstanding scientist on Earth, bar none." That is. Bulma brushed her hair with her hands, as if enjoying being praised by Khan. Khan couldn't help but smile. "If you give you some sunshine, you will be brilliant. But there is one thing to say, Bulma is indeed one of the most outstanding scientists on Earth, and I am afraid that only Dr. Brive and Dr. Gero can compete with him. As for money, Khan will not mention it. Anyway, it wasn't a day or two since he had known Bulma. Besides, even if he mentioned it, Bulma wouldn't want it, so he seemed a little hypocritical." Leaving Magnum Capsules, Khan went straight home. "I just got the gravity training room, so naturally I have to try the effect first." If you just read the original book, the training effect in the gravity training room in the early stage is indeed quite high, but you still have to try it yourself to know. As soon as he got home, Vados noticed the universal capsule box in Khan's hand, so he asked, "Husband, what is that in your hand?" "This," Khan said with a smile, "this is the gravity training room made by Bulma. With this, you can practice with half the effort." Vados was surprised, and said in surprise, "It sounds very powerful." Khan chuckled and suggested, "Honey, come take a look with me." "Ah, can you?" Vados seemed flattered. "Of course, come with me." At the foot of the hill. At the foot of the mountain that was originally covered by a forest, a domed building suddenly appeared out of thin air. The dome building is about 300 square meters, and it stands out from the crowd in the densely covered forest. This domed building that suddenly appeared out of thin air is naturally Khan's gravity training room. The gravity training room is empty except for a console. It's not very big, but it's almost enough for cultivation. Khan looked around and nodded in satisfaction. "Honey, there's nothing here, how do you practice?" Vados asked with a big question mark on his pretty face. Khan smiled and said, "It's said to be a gravity training room. Of course, you can apply multiple gravity to practice here." Talking, Khan came to the console next to the wall of the gravity chamber, followed by Vados. After a cursory glance at the instruction manual prepared by Bulma, Khan found that the gravity training room was also easy to operate. There is a green and red button on the console, the green button is on and the red button is off. In addition, there are number buttons from 1 to 50 on the console, corresponding to the gravity multiples. To turn on several times the gravity, press the corresponding number button. Although the console is a bit rudimentary, it is also simple and easy to understand. Even a novice like Khan can easily control this gravity training room. Khan then pressed the green start button, and then pressed the number 2 gravity multiplier button. The moment he turned on the double gravity, Khan could immediately feel his shoulders sinking. Sprinkle water. Twice the gravity, there is no difficulty for Khan's current strength. So, Khan then had to press the 10 gravity button. The entire gravity training room was instantly subjected to 10 times the gravity, and Khan's body sank accordingly. 10 times the gravity seems to be just right. Feeling the heavy pressure on his shoulders, Khan thought to himself. Under 10 times the gravity, Khan will neither feel too difficult nor too relaxed, which is a gravity multiple that is more in line with his current strength. Practicing under 10 times the gravity should be able to achieve good results. And many more. Suddenly, Khan realizes an important problem: Vados seems to be still here. He was patronizing the testing gravity training room just now, and he forgot that Vados was here too. Just because he can withstand 10 times the force of gravity doesn't mean that Vados can also withstand 10 times the force of gravity. It's over. Khan suddenly felt bad, but when he turned around to check Vados' situation, he was dumbfounded. I saw that under 10 times the gravity, Vados was still standing beside him like a green lotus, and there was nothing unusual, just like usual. During Satsuna, Khan was shocked. "Honey, are you all right?" "What?" Vados' beautiful eyes widened, as if he didn't understand the meaning of Khan's words. Khan was shocked. "I just drove 10 times the gravity, didn't you feel it?" Oops. As soon as Khan finished speaking, Vados fell down with a plop. Vados lay on the ground with all 5 bodies cast down. With a painful expression on his face, he said, "Old husband. I can't breathe, I'm about to die." See, Khan was so frightened that he hurriedly turned off the gravity effect. 10 times the gravity was released, and Khan quickly helped Vados up. Resting Vados' head on his lap, Khan asked urgently, "How are you, wife? Do you feel uncomfortable?" Vados clutched his chest, breathed heavily and said, "Honey, I'm in pain here, I'm a little out of breath. I'm sorry, it's all my fault that I didn't notice that you were here." Khan apologized guiltily, and then quickly gave Vados artificial respiration. If Vados didn't burp in one breath, then he would be a sinner through the ages. Fortunately, after doing artificial respiration for a while, Vados' breathing gradually stabilized, and Khan's hanging heart finally let go. After the artificial respiration, there was still a blush on Vados' cheeks. "Honey, are you okay?" Khan asked with concern. "Well, it's all right, husband, don't worry." Vados blushed and said softly. Khan breathed a long sigh of relief, and then said, "Speaking of what happened just now." This is also the point that Khan has been unable to figure out. Logically speaking, for a weak woman like Vados, let alone 10 times the gravity, she might not be able to bear even double the gravity. But the situation just now is true. After Khan activated double and 10 times gravity, Vados was like a normal person, completely unaffected by gravity. Until just now, Vados rolled her beautiful eyes and said, "My husband, maybe my reflex arc is relatively long." Vados made a random excuse and explained. Khan's head was full of black lines. "Then your reflex arc is too long." "Ah, okay," Khan said. "I was negligent just now, I hope my wife can forgive me." But it seems that it can only be explained in this way, otherwise Khan can't figure out why the situation just happened. "It's okay, husband, when everyone is careless, you don't have to blame yourself." Vados squinted and smiled. At the same time, Vados heaved a long sigh of relief inwardly, almost revealing his identity just now. The main thing is that the 10 times the gravity that Khan turned on had no effect on Vados at all, and she didn't even notice that the gravity changed. This led to the scene just now. Heard the words. Khan gazed at Vados with great affection, tenderness in his eyes. Such a considerate and reasonable wife, in Khan's previous life, is really impossible to find with a lantern. How can a husband ask for such a wife? Vados' broad-mindedness and attitude made Khan secretly swear to treat her well. A long time. Khan just picked up Vados in the princess's arms, and said softly, "I'll send you back to rest. I won't practice today, so I'll be with you. Actually, I have nothing to do. Husband, if you want to practice, you can practice." Vados said so. She wants to improve Khan's strength as soon as possible to deal with Vegeta, who is about to descend on Earth a year later. Secondly, Khan's current strength is too weak. Even if Vados wants to teach him personally, he can't teach him. Because Khan can only become stronger through combat or physical training at present, he cannot learn higher skills at all. For example, the extreme mind of freedom, or the extreme mind of self. It doesn't matter if I don't practice for a day or two, I mainly want to be with you. Khan said so. With such a beautiful and considerate wife, if it wasn't because the world of Dragon Ball is too dangerous, Khan would really like to be by her side every day without practicing. Unfortunately, this is the world of Dragon Ball. A world where the strong will easily destroy the world, destroy the stars, and even destroy the universe. If you don't practice to make yourself stronger, you can't protect yourself at all. Let alone protecting his wife. Puff. Vados was amused, and said with a smile, "Husband is so kind. In this kind of daily and warm days of practicing, growing vegetables, and getting bored with my wife, a year slipped away quietly at my fingertips. During this year, apart from insisting on signing in and clocking in every day, Khan has not stopped practicing. Therefore, Khan's strength has improved rapidly. System, daily check-in. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the daily check-in and getting the daily check-in reward, 1000 combat power improvement cards. Ding. Congratulations to the host for signing in for 14 months and getting a reward, unlimited energy. Infinite energy. This cow. Hearing this, Khan was ecstatic. Isn't infinite energy the infinite energy device that Dr. Gero installed in the bodies of number 17 and No. 18? With this, it means that Khan will no longer have to worry about energy and stamina in future battles. He can use various energy attacks unscrupulously without worrying about energy depletion. This is equivalent to unlimited MP. And infinite energy can be used not only for combat, but also for something. The 14-month sign-in reward can be said to be a surprise. As for why the daily sign-in reward is 1000 combat power improvement cards, Khan has figured this out a long time ago. This sign-in system will issue daily rewards as Khan's own strength improves. Host, Khan. Age, 26 years old. Bloodline, Advanced Saiyan Bloodline. Combat Strength, 680365. Skills, Breath Control, Flying Technique, Infinite Energy, Instant Transmission. Well, not bad. Looking at his completely new attribute panel, Khan couldn't help but nodded with satisfaction. Through this year's daily check-in to obtain combat power improvement cards, as well as hard training in the gravity training room, Khan's combat power has directly increased from the unbreakable 10,000 at the beginning to the terrifying value of 680,000 today. But Khan is not satisfied with the current combat power of 680,000. This insignificant combat power is not even as good as one of Frieza's fingers. To take down Frieza's head and avenge Bardock and Jine, the 680,000 combat power alone is not enough. But the improvement of strength doesn't happen overnight. Let's do the work first. Khan muttered something to himself, then walked out of the room. The vegetables in the vegetable garden are almost ripe, and today is the day to pick them. Khan plans to pick all the vegetables in the vegetable garden today and transport them to the Exodus farmers market for sale. This is one of Khan's few current sources of income. After all, to get by, money is still necessary. Husband, wake up, let's have breakfast. As soon as he left the room, Vados' sweet and pleasant voice came. Today, Vados is wearing a pink and white t-shirt, his proud career line is looming, which makes people imagine. The delicate oval face is slightly powdered, and there is a charming smile on the vermilion lips, like flowers blooming in spring, stunning. After more than a year of marriage, Vados looks the same, even more beautiful than before. Khan nodded with a smile, and said, I won't practice today. I'll collect the vegetables after dinner. Noon. 3 miniature universe spacecraft passed through the Earth's atmosphere, like 3 meteors, dragging a long tail flame into the Earth's interior. These 3 universe spacecraft rushed to the ground at a terrifying speed of thousands of meters per second. Some moment. Boom. With a loud noise, the 3 spaceships of the universe crashed into a city near the western capital, and the huge impact smashed a large hole in the ground. And those 3 universe spaceships were lying quietly in the big pit. The movement here has caused many passers-by to stop and watch, and the nearby media reporters even came here to report live here. Crunch. When passers-by pointed to the 3 universe spaceships, the hatches of the universe spaceships suddenly opened. Then, under the eyes of everyone and the camera, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz, all wearing Frieza army combat uniforms, stepped out in unison. It's human. Who are they? I do not know. They look kind of weird. Quote. The onlookers whispered to the 3 of Vegeta from a distance. This is the Earth. Vegeta looked around, with a wicked smile on his lips. From the eyes of passers-by watching, Vegeta saw a hint of fear. Yes. Raditz nodded. Nappa sneered and said, how about greeting these people who are making a fuss? Don't hit too hard. Vegeta said so, but in his heart he didn't care about the lives of these people at all. For him, killing a human being from another planet is like trampling an ant to death, without any psychological burden or pressure. With Vegeta's permission, Nappa smiled. And these onlookers and media reporters have not yet realized the horror that is about to happen. Under the gaze of everyone, Nappa stretched out 2 fingers, and then slightly hooked. Boom. Terrifying energy spread around the 3 of Vegeta, engulfing the entire city in an instant. Under this terrifying energy, countless buildings in this bustling city, as well as tens of millions of people, instantly evaporated. The party involved was quite satisfied with his masterpiece. At the same time, Baozi Mountain, Son Goku, who was practicing daily, sensed the powerful aura from the 3 of Vegeta. He immediately looked towards a certain direction of the sky. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead, as if he was facing an enemy. This is Raditz's chi, and 2 strange chis. Raditz's anger is stronger than a year ago. But what disturbed Son Goku the most were the other 2 strange auras. The other 2 strange chi, one was stronger than the other, the strongest chi even made him feel terrified and chills down his spine. Raditz. Is that the scary guy? Son Goku on the side couldn't help but feel the name Raditz. Raditz left him a terrible impression more than a year ago, so much so that Son Gohan is still afraid of his uncle until now. Son Goku nodded gravely. When Khan let Raditz go, he had a premonition that Raditz would come back again. As predicted, today, more than a year later, Raditz is back. And this time, Raditz is no longer alone, but also brought accomplices. The strength of these 2 accomplices is far stronger than Raditz. I sensed a huge explosion of energy just now, presumably they started to kill. Son Goku said angrily, these fools. Earth is not where they should come from. After knowing his life experience, Son Goku hated the Saiyans like Raditz even more. Although he is a Saiyan, Son Goku grew up on the Earth, saying that he is a Saiyan. Son Goku prefers to call himself a person from the Earth. He does not want his life to be affected by these Saiyans from Raditz. During this year, under Khan's urging, Son Goku also conducted extremely arduous training, and he also trained Son Gohan. Compared with a year ago, Son Goku's current strength has greatly increased. He no longer fears Raditz, but, compared with Vegeta and Nappa, Son Goku's strength is still not enough. But this is not the reason for Son Goku to back down. Since Raditz came because of him, he must come forward to stop it. Gohan, you stay home and protect Mom. After confessing, Son Goku didn't say a word, and the flying technique was cast, heading towards the direction of Vegeta's breath. At the same time, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan, Yamcha, Kling and other Earth Z fighters couldn't sit still anymore. The 3 of Vegeta destroyed a city as soon as they landed on Earth, and they obviously couldn't stay out of it. How can there be eggs in a full nest? If Vegeta and the others are not stopped, disaster will soon befall them. For the Earth, for the homeland they live in, and for themselves and their relatives and friends, they must stand up and fight for the Earth. Magnum Capsule Company. Bulma also witnessed the horror scene of Nappa destroying a city in the blink of an eye just now through the live broadcast of media reporters. Bulma's pretty face was immediately pale and bloodless with fright. My God, it's terrible. Bulma panicked and took out her mobile phone and dialed Khan's number. In this critical moment, the first person Bulma thinks of is Khan. Western Farmers Market. Khan and Vados had just shipped their garden produce to the farmers market for wholesale sale when Khan got a call from Bulma. Hey, Khan, where are you? On the phone, Bulma's trembling voice was full of panic. I just got to the farmers market, what's up? Khan said. It's not good. Bulma panicked and said, that person from back then, here he is again. You said this, I already know. Khan said casually. Don't worry, nothing will happen. The moment Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz landed on the earth, Khan sensed their chi, how could he not know? But, Bulma said anxiously, they have already destroyed a city, you go and stop them. Compared to the extremely anxious Bulma, Khan seemed much calmer. He said slowly, don't worry, I'll talk about it after I sell out the dishes. I have to stop this dish. After speaking, Khan hung up the phone. Bulma on the other end stomped his feet in anger. Why is he still thinking about selling vegetables at this time? Bulma can't understand Khan. Now that the earth is in crisis, Khan is still in the mood to sell vegetables. Bulma can't understand Khan because her family background is different from Khan's. She is indeed the richest man in the world, but Khan's family background is not that good, especially in a metropolis like Western capital. The couple of Khan and Vados basically can only rely on the meager income of selling vegetables to make ends meet. Husband, what's the matter? Vados pretended not to understand and asked. Khan smiled and said, it's okay, it's just that Raditz came again, and brought 2 accomplices. Huh, did he kill that Frieza man? Vados asked. Is it possible? Khan snorted and said, if he has the ability to kill Frieza, he won't be in a nest, let's not talk about him, let's sell the vegetables first. The words are divided into 2 ends. Son Goku, Piccolo and others arrived at the place where the 3 of Vegeta were located almost at the same time. It was a big city just now, but now it has become a dilapidated ruin. Whoosh! Several figures swept over from the sky and landed in front of the 3 of Vegeta in unison. It was Son Goku and his team. I can feel a strong aura from them, as if being suppressed by an evil spirit. Keelan stared at the 3 of Vegeta with great fear, his voice trembling. Yes. Tien Shinhan nodded in agreement. This is the strongest opponent he has ever encountered. During Satsuna, Son Goku and his party are facing an enemy. All of them could sense the extraordinary terrifying aura on the 3 of Vegeta. Compared with them, it is simply a dimensionality reduction blow. Oh, here comes a group of brats. Nappa laughed jokingly, and then pressed the combat power detector worn on his left eye. Drip drip. Combat power value. 2800. This is Son Goku's combat power value, and it is also the highest among them. The second is Piccolo's, which is in the early 1000. K Lin Tien Jinfin is even lower, with only a pitiful few hundred combat effectiveness. There are 2008 combat strength. Nappa stared at Son Goku, slightly surprised. Raditz, is this your younger brother? Yes. Raditz nodded. He's Kakarot. Raditz. Son Goku gritted his teeth and yelled at Raditz. What are you doing on Earth? Raditz put his hands on his chest and joked. My dear brother, of course I came to Earth to invite you to join us. After all, we are the only Saiyan who survived now, so we should unite even more, shouldn't we? As for that Khan, Vegeta will send him to hell later, you don't have to worry about that. Son Goku looked serious. He doesn't want to be with those murderous guys like Raditz. In Son Goku's heart, he has long believed that he is an Earthling, a kind-hearted Earthling. He doesn't want to be with these brutal Saiyans like Raditz. What are you doing here on Earth? At this time, Piccolo asked with an extremely fearful look. He could also feel the strong sense of oppression emanating from Vegeta, Nappa and Raditz. Not to mention the stronger Vegeta and Nappa, just Raditz made Piccolo feel his terror a year ago. Nappa's eyes fell on Piccolo, and he sneered like a cat playing with a mouse. The purpose of our coming to Earth is for the Dragon Ball. Obediently hand over the Dragon Ball, maybe I can give you a happy death. Have to. They are all going to die together. Even if Piccolo and others are stupid, they will know. This matter will definitely not be good today. Either they die today, or drive the three of Vegeta away. Other than that, there won't be a second ending. Immediately, Piccolo and others immediately took a fighting posture, ready to face these Saiyans who invaded the Earth. Even though they know they are invincible, they have no way out when the Earth is alive and dead. See, Nappa clenched his fist, and his murderous heart suddenly rose. Vegeta, let me clean up these brats, right? Vegeta crossed his arms and said nothing. It is the default. In Vegeta's eyes, people like Son Goku and Piccolo are no different from garbage, and they are not worth his hands at all. Let Nappa dismiss them as he pleases. With Vegeta's tacit consent, Nappa glanced at him, and finally landed on the bald Kling, and then grinned sinisterly, that little bald man over there, let's start with you. During Setsuna, the breath of death welled up in his heart, and Keelan's scalp burst instantly. Call out. The moment the words fell, Nappa moved. He was extremely fast, and as an afterimage passed by, a muffled sound came out. Before everyone could react, Klin screamed and flew backwards. Okay, so fast. The scene of Nappa's thunder shot shocked everyone present. And when Son Goku, Piccolo and others reacted, they found that Nappa was already among them. Immediately, everyone felt as if they were facing an enemy. Hey! The corner of Nappa's mouth raised, and then his thick thigh swept away. Puff! The dumplings closest to Nappa are swept away by Nappa-like garbage. Dumpling! Tien Shinhan's pupils shrank suddenly. Asshole! Son Goku and Piccolo looked at each other, and then the two made a thunderous strike. The two were sandwiched between two sides and attacked Nappa together. Boom! Boom! The next moment, the attacks of Son Goku and Piccolo landed firmly on Nappa, but the next second they were dumbfounded. Under the joint attack of Son Goku and Piccolo, Nappa was unscathed, and he didn't even move half a step, as if the attack of Son Goku and Piccolo had no effect on him at all. What? Son Goku and Piccolo's pupils shrank, and their minds were shocked. Nappa showed a row of white teeth, jokingly said, "It doesn't hurt at all." What? Immediately, Nappa shouted loudly, and his thick thigh swept away again. Son Goku, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and Yamcha were all swept away. Subsequently, Son Goku and others regrouped and joined forces to attack Nappa. Fierce battles were staged on the ruins of the city. The joint attack of Son Goku and the others caused Nappa a lot of scars, but for the rough-skinned and thick-skinned Nappa, these scars were nothing more than sprinkling water, not at all. Does it hurt? On the contrary, Son Goku and others are miserable. Nappa's combat power is 4,000, while Son Goku's highest combat power is only 2,008. In just a few minutes, Jiaozi, Tien Shinhan and Piccolo were bombarded by Nappa one after another. Yamcha and Keelan were also seriously injured and could not recover. Son Goku's situation is not much better than theirs. Under Nappa's terrifying force, Son Goku's ribs were broken and his strength was greatly reduced. To describe Son Goku and others as a broken army is a perfect fit. This guy is too strong. Keelan lay on the ground, looking at Nappa with despair in his eyes. All of them teamed up, and they were even worse than a Nappa. The opponent's strength is obviously not at the same level as theirs, and this is the first time they have encountered such a powerful enemy. Powerful enough to make them despair. Asshole, Tien Shinhan and Piccolo, they were all killed. Yamcha was desperate, angry and unwilling, not to mention the three of Piccolo were killed. Even Son Goku didn't have much resistance under Nappa's hands. Nappa's power is so desperate. Nappa's big feet stepped on Son Goku's back, holding Son Goku's hair with one hand, and lifted his head up. Is this not enough? I haven't played enough, what a bunch of rubbish. At this time, Son Goku was seriously injured, and he almost didn't even have the strength to answer Nappa's words. As Nappa stepped on his back a little harder, Son Goku screamed like a pig. Sighed. Raditz watched the scene blankly. He immediately stepped forward and gestured to Nappa, and Nappa also handed Son Goku to Raditz. Raditz also grabbed Son Goku by the hair, lifted him roughly from the ground, and said expressionlessly, "Kakarot, if you want to survive, don't be so ignorant like Khan." Immediately, Raditz gestured to Klin and Yamcha, who were seriously injured, and said, "Don't be naive, let go of your nature, and kill them both. I think Vegeta will recognize you as our companion." Wishful thinking. Son Goku opened his eyelids with difficulty, looked at Raditz angrily, and said, "I won't be with you fools. Even if I die, Brother Khan will avenge me." When it comes to Khan, Raditz's anger is all over the place. It's not good for Son Goku to mention anything to him, but Khan must be mentioned to him. Puff! Raditz punched heavily on Son Goku's lower abdomen, and Son Goku screamed again, a mouthful of blood gushing out. His expression gradually became grim due to the severe pain. Kakarot, why do you think I dare to come back today? I admit that I am not Khan's opponent, but in front of Vegeta, what is his Khan's fighting power? Raditz, since your little brother is so ignorant, it's up to you to kill him yourself. At this time, Vegeta, who had been silent for a long time, spoke. Raditz nodded, looked at Son Goku again, and said indifferently, Kakarot, this is the path you chose, so don't blame me, a big brother, for not thinking about brotherhood. The words fell. Raditz threw Son Goku into the air, and a beam of energy exuding a breath of death condensed on his fingertips. Although Son Goku is his younger brother, Raditz doesn't have much affection for his younger brother. If Son Goku is sensible, he doesn't mind letting Son Goku join their team. But since Son Goku is so clueless, it doesn't hurt to kill him. Goku. Seeing this scene, the pupils of Keelan, who was lying on the ground, suddenly constricted. Yamcha gritted his teeth. Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and Dumpling had already been killed by them. Are they really going to kill them all? Yamcha tried to get up to stop Raditz, but with all his strength, he couldn't get up from the ground. Compared to Keelan and Yamcha's desperate hysteria, Vegeta and Nappa watched this scene with a sneer. For Vegeta, people who are useless to him do not need to be kept alive. Killed 100 directly. So, even Son Goku is also Saiyan, but since he doesn't want to join his team, he should be killed. Next second, call out. The energy beam gathered by Raditz's fingertips shot out rapidly, pointing directly at Son Goku's heart. Goku. Goku. Kling and Yamcha's eyes widened completely at this moment. They stared at this scene, their eyes were tearing apart. Since they met Son Goku has been their backbone. He destroyed the evil armed organization Red Ribbon Legion and saved countless people from fire and water. He even defeated Piccolo Daimao and saved the world. But today, is it going to end up in such a tragic end? Kakarot, goodbye. The energy beam shot out, and the corner of Raditz's mouth twitched. However, just when the energy beam was about to penetrate Son Goku's heart, a black shadow seemed to flash across the sky. With the flash of this black shadow, Son Goku in midair also disappeared. Raditz's energy beam naturally also fell through. How? Seeing this, Raditz was startled suddenly. Vegeta and Nappa also frowned. They looked around and finally found a tall and straight figure behind Raditz. Son Goku, who was seriously injured, was held in his arms and gently lowered to the ground. Seeing the visitor, Keelan and Yamcha, who were already in despair, suddenly became ecstatic. Because this person is Son Goku's big brother, Khan. Putting Son Goku on the ground, Khan took out another fairy bean and fed it to Son Goku. Kaka. Although Son Goku is seriously injured, he still has the strength to eat fairy beans. After eating the fairy beans, Son Goku recovered from his injuries almost instantly. Not only that, as the injury recovered, Son Goku's chi also increased a lot. Brother Khan. Khan handed over a small cloth bag, and said, there are still a few fairy beans here, you can give them to Keelan to eat, and then leave it to me. Okay, Brother Khan, you should also be careful, they are very powerful. How? Vegeta and Nappa were dumbfounded when they saw Son Goku, who was seriously injured and dying, but now he was resurrected with full blood. What the hell kind of black technology is this? But Raditz, who turned around and saw the Comer clearly, paled in shock. The scene when I was crushed by Khan at the beginning is still vivid in my mind. Khan, it's you. Raditz gasped suddenly. The eyes he looked at Khan were full of dread and fear. Although there are Vegeta and Nappa, Raditz still has the guts to face Khan alone. Immediately, Raditz hurriedly retreated to Vegeta's side. Staying with Vegeta and Nappa, Raditz felt a little bit safe. Is he Khan? Vegeta frowned slightly, and his eyes fell on Khan. Yes, Raditz said fearfully with cold sweat rolling down his forehead. It doesn't look very strong. Nappa looked Khan up and down and said casually. As long as he is wearing a combat power detector and detects Khan's combat power a little bit, he will not say these words. Khan ignored Vegeta and Nappa, and said to Raditz, Raditz, it seems that you must have killed Frieza when you came back this time. Very well, where's his head? Khan, you haven't figured out your situation yet. With Vegeta by his side, Raditz spoke confidently, did you see Vegeta next to me? He is Prince Saiyan, a genius fighter. In the eyes of Vegeta, your combat power is no different from that of an ant. Now kneel down and admit your mistake, maybe I can plead with Vegeta to spare your life for you. The corner of Vegeta's mouth twitched, obviously he was very pleased with Raditz's flattery. So, you didn't kill Frieza, you came back, right? Khan didn't take Raditz's words to heart at all, and said with a smile, it seems that you are quite self-aware and know that you can't hide, so you choose to take the initiative. Come to die. Hey, don't you see me and Vegeta here? You dare to be so arrogant in front of me and Vegeta, I think you are tired of your life. Nappa scolded angrily. Forget it, since you're tired of work, then let me send you on your way. The moment the words fell, boom, the ground under Nappa's feet crumbled, and his sturdy body rushed towards Khan in a charging posture. The fist, which was bigger than Khan's head, slammed down towards Khan's face with terrifying power. Bang bang bang, where Nappa's fist passed, there were bursts of sonic booms. It is not difficult to imagine how powerful Nappa's punch is. Brother Khan, get out of the way. Seeing this scene, Son Goku shouted at Khan in panic. He had personally fought Nappa just now, so he knew exactly how strong Nappa was. Khan's strength may also be very strong, but it is obviously impossible to resist Nappa's powerful blow. Compared to the worried Son Goku, Khan smiled casually. When Nappa's fist was about to come down, Khan raised his right hand slightly. Snapped. Next second, Son Goku, Keelan and Yamcha's pupils widened suddenly, watching this scene in disbelief. Nappa's pupils shrank suddenly, and he took a deep breath. How is this possible? I see. Facing Nappa's powerful punch, Khan easily blocked Nappa's punch with only one index finger. Khan's body didn't move a bit. So soft, haven't you eaten? Khan raised his eyelids slightly, and his tone was flat, without any waves on his face. But there was a strong sense of irony in the words. How dare you underestimate me? The blue veins on Nappa's forehead bloomed, and the monstrous anger was burning. Who is he? He is Vegeta's right-hand man. Who is Khan? Although Khan is a Saiyan with him, Khan is just a Saiyan who grew up on a low-level planet like Earth. Therefore, being so underestimated by Khan, Nappa's anger also came up for a while. Then he raised his left hand high and clenched his claws into a fist. Then suddenly smashed down. Watch me kill you like strangling an ant. Slap. Nappa's angry roar resounded through the sky, followed by the crisp sound of bone breaking. During Satsuna, the world was silent. Time seems to stop at this moment. Nappa, who was clamoring to kill Khan just now, stopped abruptly, his left fist stayed in the air, unable to fall any further. Nappa stared fixedly at Khan's face that was close at hand, the luster and charm in her eyes were fading rapidly. He never thought that he would die at the hands of a person whom he looked down upon so much. Khan withdrew the knife from Nappa's neck, and said disdainfully, the yelling just now was very vigorous. I thought you were so powerful, but that's the end. Rubbish. Thump. After Khan's voice fell, Nappa's strong body also collapsed like a building. Until the moment of death, Nappa's eyes did not close. It is yes to die with peace. One move. Witnessing Khan killing Nappa with one move, Keelan's scalp tingled and he gasped. Just now, the six of them went together and failed to cause any substantial damage to Nappa. On the contrary, Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and Dumpling were also killed by Nappa's men. The enemy they were almost invincible just now, in Khan's hands, was like a baby, powerless to fight back. Gulu. Yamcha swallowed hard, and said in shock, Khan is too strong. This is a powerful enemy that none of us can defeat together. Kling and Yamcha were overwhelmed. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed it. Nappa, who they couldn't defeat just now, was killed by Khan in one move. Brother Khan should have practiced very hard these days, and now he has left me far behind. Son Goku couldn't help but be amazed. Thinking back to 2 years ago, Khan's strength was even slightly weaker than him. Now Khan has left him far behind. It seems that he has to work harder in the future, otherwise he will never be able to catch up with Khan. Nappa, Looking at Nappa, who had turned into a cold corpse, Raditz's fear of Khan deepened a bit. According to his knowledge of Khan's combat power is 5,300. Although Nappa is not as good as Khan, it is still 4,000. Impossible to be instantly killed by Khan. Then there is only one explanation. In more than a year, Khan's strength has become stronger again. HMPH, what a waste. Regarding Nappa's death, Vegeta remained calm. Always Nappa fought with him since he was a child, but Vegeta has no compassion for Nappa's death, and even thinks he is a waste. Vegeta, no. At this moment, Raditz has gradually felt that something is wrong. Raditz, you worry too much. Vegeta is naturally aware of Raditz's concerns, but Vegeta believes that he can easily kill Nappa with one move. So Vegeta didn't feel any shock when Khan killed Nappa in one move. On the contrary, he still thinks that if Khan can't even kill Nappa in seconds, then he is not qualified to fight him. Immediately, Vegeta took a step forward and said, "You are Raditz's younger brother Khan, you performed very well just now. If you can join us, I will welcome you as my right-hand man. If you don't know current affairs, my prince, I don't mind killing you either." Heard the words, Khan couldn't help but shook his head with a smile, and said, "You know. In my opinion, what you said is as ridiculous as an ant threatening to kill an elephant." Yes, Vegeta was also amused. He thought he was crazy enough, but Khan was even crazier than himself. So far, Vegeta has already known Khan's choice. It seems that it is impossible for Khan to join his team. In this case, Vegeta stretched out his left thumb and pointed at himself, arrogantly said, "I am Saiyan Prince Vegeta, you are a mere low-level fighter, and you dare to speak nonsense in front of this prince. Then let you see my strength, Vegeta." The words fell. Vegeta immediately assumed a fighting stance. Khan didn't speak, but just hooked his fingers towards Vegeta. The provocation was self-evident. Being provoked repeatedly by Khan, Vegeta also became murderous. His eyes were angry. "I'm not a piece of trash like Nappa. If you dare to underestimate me, you will die in an ugly way. Call out." Vegeta didn't hesitate anymore, and launched an attack with a thunderous force. Bang bang bang. The fierce offensive enveloped Khan like a storm, cutting off Khan's retreat. However, facing Vegeta's violent attack, Khan did not dodge anything, allowing Vegeta's violent attack to rain on him. Bang bang bang. Vegeta's punches, kicks, moves, waves, and bounces all greeted Khan firmly. The muffled sound continued to be heard, smoke and dust rose, and thick smoke splashed in all directions. After a round of attacks, Vegeta retreated a distance, with a smug smile on his lips. "What an idiot, you actually received all of my Vegeta's attacks. So what?" Before Vegeta had time to be proud, a careless voice came out from the smoke and dust. "What?" Vegeta was taken aback. Although the round of attack just now did not use all its strength, it was by no means something ordinary people could bear. But right now, Khan is unscathed after withstanding one of his attacks. As the smoke cleared, Khan reappeared in Vegeta's sight. I saw that Khan was still standing on the spot like an iron tower, not to mention the injuries. Khan didn't even have dust on his face. Obviously, Vegeta's attack just now didn't even break Khan's defense. "We failed to penetrate the enemy's armor. Impossible. No one can take my Vegeta's attack unscathed." Vegeta figured something must be wrong. Then, only then did he remember to press the combat power detector button on his left eye, ready to check Khan's combat power value. As long as he figured out Khan's combat power value, he would know what happened just now. Drip drip. As Vegeta presses the button, the numbers representing Khan's combat power value on the combat power detector begin to change. With the change of combat power value, Vegeta's expression changed from bewildered, to unbelievable, to shocked, in just 3 seconds. 50,000, 60,000, 100,000. Impossible. This is impossible. After the combat power value on the combat power detector soared to 100,000, it was still soaring at a high speed. In other words, Khan's fighting power is far more than 100,000. Dee boom. In the end, because Khan's combat power value was too high, the combat power detector could not measure such a high combat power value, resulting in an explosion. At this moment, Vegeta has been shocked beyond measure. Who would have thought that Saiyan, who was born as a low-level fighter, has a fighting power of hundreds of thousands? Vegeta can't take it. He is a majestic Saiyan prince, a genius fighter, and now his combat power is only 18,000. Khan, a low-level fighter, was born a few years later than him, and his combat power can reach a terrifying value of hundreds of thousands, which is totally unreasonable. It must be an instrument failure. Vegeta recovered from the shock. He can't accept it. Can't accept the fact that Khan has hundreds of thousands of combat power values. Therefore, he can only explain it with an instrument failure. Raditz, use your detector, Vegeta said with dark eyes. Raditz nodded slightly, and then pressed the button of the combat power detector. Dee boom. A few seconds later, Raditz's combat power detector also exploded. At this moment, Vegeta and Raditz turned pale and bloodless. If it is reasonable to say that one instrument fails, two instruments fail together. This is impossible. Moreover, what they brought out was a new type of combat power detector, which couldn't break down so easily. With a sullen face, Vegeta asked, Raditz, are you sure that Khan's fighting power was only 5,003 a year ago? Vegeta only felt that he had been fooled by Raditz. This is 5,003 combat power. Are you going to fool me to die? 18,000 combat power versus hundreds of thousands. This is simply a dung beetle attacking the toilet at night, courting death. Even if Vegeta transforms into a great ape and has 10 times more combat power, he is no match for Khan. Raditz took a breath, and said in a trembling voice, I'm sure, Khan's fighting power was 5,003 a year ago. How could his fighting power soar to hundreds of thousands in just 1 year? If there is nothing wrong with the combat power detector, they came to Earth today, and they really came to seek death. No wonder Khan had no fear when facing the three of them just now. Turn out to be. Today's Khan is no longer what it used to be. This is prepared. Raditz. When Vegeta and Raditz were shocked, Khan's indifferent voice came, Vegeta is your reliance on returning to Earth. If this is the case, then I will defeat your reliance first, and then slowly settle accounts with you. Tread. Vegeta and Raditz looked up suddenly, only to see that Khan had already started walking towards them step by step. During Setsuna, cold sweat broke out on Vegeta's forehead, and he looked panicked. There is no longer the invincible demeanor just now. Vegeta wanted to turn around and run away, but his pride and arrogance did not allow him to do so. Khan presses every step of the way, and Vegeta can only keep backing away. In the blink of an eye, Khan, who was tens of meters away, suddenly appeared in front of Vegeta. Vegeta's little man is really as small as an ant in front of the tall and straight Khan. Prince Saiyan, right, Pia, genius fighter, ha. Pia. Khan slapped Vegeta mercilessly in the face twice. Vegeta found desperately that he didn't even have the courage to resist in front of Khan. In just a few seconds, Vegeta was slapped to the ground by Khan, his face was bruised and purple, and he was beaten into a pig's head. This is still Khan's hand, otherwise Vegeta's end will not be much better than Nappa. Is this Prince Saiyan, a genius fighter? What rubbish! Khan stepped on Vegeta's face, disdainful. The Raditz people on the side were dumbfounded. This horse is Vegeta. He was beaten by Khan like a 3-year-old child, unable to fight back. Back to Earth this time, Raditz originally expected Vegeta to deal with Khan, but the result? The one who got cleaned up was Vegeta. At this moment, Raditz was shocked and desperate. He looked at Khan in horror, only to see that Khan was looking at him peacefully and kindly. Whoosh! Although the expression on Khan's face was very peaceful and friendly, but a chill came from the soles of Raditz's feet straight to the sky. The breath of death lingers in my heart. Raditz's legs went limp, and he slumped to the ground. Khan, misunderstanding, it's all misunderstanding, listen to me, listen to me. Panicked, Raditz could barely speak. Khan sneered, Raditz, what are you doing? I still like your rebellious appearance just now, can you recover? Khan, I know I was wrong, let me go. Raditz wants to cry but has no tears. He really wanted to be unruly, but now he is already unruly. Let you go, Khan sneered, why didn't you let Kakarot go just now? You were going to kill Kakarot just now. Vegeta ordered me. At this time, Raditz didn't care about whether he had a partner or not, and sold Vegeta directly. He pointed at Vegeta and cursed, it was the Vegeta who ordered me. Raditz, you better not fall into my hands, or I will make your life worse than death. Vegeta lay on the ground, almost twisting her nose in anger. He has always been the only one who backstabs others, but today he was backstabbed by Raditz. Regarding Vegeta's threat, Raditz didn't take it very seriously. Let's talk about it if you can leave the Earth alive today. Obviously, it is Khan who is in power now, and Raditz firmly believes that as long as he pleases Khan, Khan will still think of brotherhood and let him go as he did a year ago. Oh, Khan raised his eyebrows, but things gradually became interesting. Raditz and Vegeta choke each other, a situation he has never seen before. However, although Vegeta ordered it, Khan obviously will not let Raditz go. I know that Vegeta ordered it, and you are the one who can execute it, isn't it? Khan's eyes flashed a murderous intent. Since you can even kill Kakarot, then I can kill you too. As soon as Khan said this, Raditz's face paled instantly. He hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy. Khan, I was wrong. I was wrong. As long as you let me go, I can do whatever you want. Please, for the sake of my parents, give me another. I have a chance. Chance? I gave you a chance, but it's a pity that you didn't use it. Raditz was immediately silenced by Khan. But the strong desire to survive still made Raditz say brazenly, Khan, no matter what you say, we are brothers. Give me another chance, and I will definitely seize it. After pondering for a while, Khan said, okay, I'll give you another chance. Raditz was overjoyed immediately, and it was better to live than to die. As long as you can survive, what is face and dignity? Didn't Vegeta ask you to kill Kakarot just now? Now you go and kill Vegeta, and I'll let you go. Vegeta. Raditz was stunned for a moment. Kill Vegeta. He had never thought about it, and he didn't dare to think about it. After all, he has fought with Vegeta for more than 20 years. Deep in Raditz's heart, he dare not challenge Vegeta's majesty. But now Khan wants him to kill Vegeta. Right now, Vegeta is covered in bruises and his strength has been greatly reduced. But his state has not been affected in any way. Hesitating for a moment, Raditz overcame his inner fear of Vegeta in order to survive. He turned to look at Vegeta, with a look of ruthlessness in his eyes. Vegeta, in order for me to live, I have to sacrifice you. Kill me. He. Ha ha ha. Seeing the fierce look in Raditz's eyes, Vegeta smiled. Immediately, the corner of Vegeta's mouth raised, and he sneered, Raditz, if you think you can kill me, then go ahead and do it. Not to mention, Raditz was really intimidated by Vegeta's words. Although Vegeta is now covered in bruises, Vegeta's strength lies there. Even if he is seriously injured, Raditz may not be Vegeta's opponent. Raditz, what are you still doing? I'll count to 3, and if you don't do anything, I'll send you to hell first. 1. Khan began the countdown, like a countdown to Raditz's trial. Raditz gritted his teeth and shouted, go to hell, Vegeta. Compared to Vegeta, Raditz is now more afraid of Khan. After all, Vegeta was beaten to the ground by Khan. Apart from killing Vegeta, Raditz has no other option now. He has no choice. Boom! Raditz shot like a thunderbolt, and a Qigong bullet that gathered all of Raditz's strength went straight to Vegeta. Facing Vegeta, Raditz dared not underestimate him. Even now Vegeta is seriously injured. He. Ki blast became bigger and bigger in Vegeta's eyes, but Vegeta couldn't help but sneered. You, Raditz, want to kill me, Vegeta? Afterburner. What? Boom! Vegeta, who was lying on the ground, gathered the energy of his whole body and fired the last afterburner. The two energies, Ki blast, met shockingly under the watchful eyes of Khan and others. Under Vegeta's afterburner, Raditz's energy Ki blast collapsed in an instant. After defeating Raditz's energy Ki blast, the afterburner continued unabated and swallowed Raditz in an instant. Rumble. After devouring Raditz, the afterburner produced a blast of energy. At the moment of the energy explosion, a terrifying shock wave rippled out like ripples, and a mushroom cloud also rose with it. A long time. The energy explosion gradually dissipated, and a large crater appeared in the sight of Khan and others. Raditz was lying in the big pit with scars all over his body. His body was still twitching constantly, and his breath became extremely sluggish. Obviously, even with the afterburner fired by the seriously injured Vegeta, Raditz is still unable to contend. Tisk tisk. Coming to Raditz's side, Khan looked down at the embarrassed Raditz from a high position, with no waves on his face. Khan, save me. Raditz exerted all his strength, and just stretched out his trembling hand to ask Khan for help. At this time, Son Goku also came to the edge of the big pit. Looking at Raditz, who was seriously injured and dying, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Just now Raditz was following Vegeta rebelliously and arrogantly. Now he was crippled by a booster shot from Vegeta. Brother Khan, save him. Although Raditz was about to kill himself just now, Son Goku still couldn't bear to see Raditz right now. Save him, Khan said indifferently. Kakarot, you are too kind. You need to change your temperament. Being kind to the enemy oftentimes will cause more trouble for yourself. There is no need for people like Raditz to live in this world. Immediately, Khan squatted down and stared at the dying Raditz. Raditz, I didn't want to let you go last time. I let you live for more than a year, and you have earned it. When you get to the bottom, I hope you will repent in front of your parents. Let's go. The moment the words fell, Khan fired a Qigong cannon, and Raditz disappeared completely. Watching this scene, Son Goku didn't say anything more. If it were him, he wouldn't have killed Raditz, but since Khan didn't want to let Raditz go again, there was nothing he could do about it. Having dealt with Raditz, Khan came to Vegeta again. It's unlucky for me, Vegeta, to fall into your hands today, but seeing that there are still Saiyans as strong as you in the world, I will die without regret. Kill me. I hope that one day in the future, you can also kill Frieza and avenge our Saiyan nation, so that I can die in peace. Although he became the fish on Khan's cutting board, Vegeta still insisted on his proud self-esteem. He won't beg Khan for mercy. If Khan really wanted to kill him, begging for mercy would have no effect. Rather than losing your dignity and losing your life, it is better to keep your last dignity when you are about to die. His last dignity is Prince Saiyan. Chapter 21. Even if you don't tell me, I'll kill Frieza sooner or later, but... Khan narrowed his eyes slightly, and said, you are different from the kind of trash like Nappa and Raditz, and it's still useful to keep you alive. You can go, before I change my mind. Khan and Vegeta don't have any feuds either. You can kill him, but you don't have to. What's more, keeping him alive is still helpful to Son Goku, at least on the way to Son Goku becoming stronger, Vegeta is still needed as a competitor. Nani? Vegeta could hardly believe his ears. Khan didn't kill him. Are you deaf if I tell you to go? If you don't go, maybe I will change my mind. You can't let him go. At this time, Keelan shouted impatiently. Khan, these guys killed Piccolo, Tien Shinhan and Dumplings, they can't let him go. Are you teaching me how to do things? Khan glanced coldly, causing Klin to shrink his neck in fright, and fell silent for an instant. I hope you won't regret today's decision. Given the chance to live, Vegeta naturally wouldn't give up. After all, if he could live, who would want to die? Vegeta didn't dare to neglect, and dragged his bruised body back to the Universe spaceship with difficulty. Call out. The Universe spaceship starts and rushes to the sky at the fastest speed. It wasn't until the moment he left the Earth that Vegeta dared to believe that he had survived. He thought he would end up like Raditz and Nappa, but he survived. Magnum Capsule Company. Win, that's great. Bulma danced and hugged Vados. Through the live broadcast of the war correspondents, they also saw the scene of Khan fighting Vegeta and others. Although Vegeta was released, they finally relieved their threat to the Earth. Of course, it's no accident that my husband took action. Vados also pursed his lips and smiled. TCH, so this is my husband. Bulma pouted. He, who told you not to cherish breaking up with him? Vados chuckled lightly. After staying on Earth for more than a year, Vados naturally knew about the past between Bulma and Khan, but it was no longer important to her. Is it too late for me to cherish now? Bulma regrets it, even if she is small. After all, she really liked Khan deep down in her heart, but they broke up peacefully because they didn't have much time to spend together in the past. Well, maybe you'll have to ask Khan yourself. Vados smiled meaningfully. Having been with Bulma for so long, Vados knows enough about Bulma. Although she doesn't really want to share Khan with others, if it's Bulma, it's not impossible. Firstly, Bulma is a good woman, and secondly, Bulma has helped Khan a lot over the past year, and she can see that Khan and Bulma still like each other. Vados is not so narrow-minded, and in her concept, there is no so-called monogamy. In the 6th universe, it is common for a person to marry several wives. Therefore, as long as there is no problem with Khan, Vados can also accept Bulma. Listen. Bulma understood what Vados meant, that is to say, Vados agreed with her to be a child. Now all she has to do is take care of Khan's side. Bulma, who was already desperate, sees hope again. The other side. After Vegeta left, Keelan and Yamcha also let out a long sigh of relief. But then there is an important question. Piccolo, Tien Shinhan, dumplings, and a city of tens of millions of people died, and they had to figure out a way to revive them. As long as you find all 7 Dragon Balls, you can revive Piccolo and the others. Yamcha said. How to resurrect? Khan asked back. If I remember correctly, the Dragon Ball on Earth is now made by Piccolo, and his death means that the Dragon Ball is useless. Yes. After Khan said this, everyone suddenly remembered this crucial question. When Piccolo died, Shenron naturally died as well. Then what to do? Is there no other way? Clint said anxiously. It doesn't matter even if someone is dead, after all, there is still the existence of Dragon Ball. But now that Piccolo is also killed by Nappa, the Dragon Ball is naturally useless. It's not impossible. Any solution? Son Goku and others looked at Khan one after another. The dead Raditz and Nappa don't care, but Piccolo and Tien Shinhan have to be resurrected. The thousands of innocent people who died under Nappa's hands must also be resurrected. Go to Namek, the planet where Piccolo's race lives. There should be a Dragon Ball there that can revive Piccolo. As long as Piccolo is resurrected, then the Earth's dragons can be used to revive other people. Khan put it succinctly. Great. With a purpose, the next question is not a problem. Bulma can build a universe ship to Namek, and can also translate Namek language. Then, Khan went to the Temple of Heaven, and brought the universe spaceship that the old gods took when they came to Earth back to the Universal Capsule Company for Bulma to transform, and by the way, do a translation of the Namekian language. 10 days later, everything's ready. In the huge yard of Universal Capsule Company. An octopus-shaped universe spaceship is parked on the lawn, and Khan, Vados, Bulma, Son Goku, Son Gohan, Kling and others are all here. Let's go with Goku, Gohan and Krillin this time. Khan said. I also need to go. Seeing that his name was not among them, Bulma stood up immediately. Bulma, Namek should be dangerous, aren't you afraid? Son Goku said. After all, going to Namek this time is not for tourism, maybe you will meet enemies, if Bulma goes, maybe you will be delayed. I'm not afraid, Khan will protect me anyway. Bulma put his hands on his hips, confidently. This. Khan scratched his head, then looked at Vados and asked, Honey, what do you think? I don't care, husband, you can make your own decision. Vados said softly and brilliantly. Whether or not to take Bulma with her, she left the decision to Khan. After hesitating for a moment, Khan could only say, then, okay. Since Bulma wants to go too, let her go. Immediately, everyone began to board the universe spaceship one after another, and Bulma personally controlled the universe spaceship. When Bulma pressed the button to start the engine, the universe spaceship burst into flames. The huge thrust propelled the universe spacecraft into the sky slowly, and then the speed soared, and it disappeared above the clouds in just a few seconds. After Khan and his party left for Namek, Vados also returned home. After returning home, Vados immediately summoned the angel staff to check all the news about Frieza. Universe Emperor Frieza. Vados' beautiful eyes narrowed slightly. According to the news she got, Frieza's strength is far above Khan's today. Moreover, since Frieza learned about the Dragon Ball in Vegeta's combat power detector, he has already personally led Frieza's army to planet Namek at this time. That is, on Namek, Khan will meet Frieza, the enemy who killed his father and mother. According to Khan's character, there will inevitably be a big battle between Khan and Frieza. Khan's strength is not as good as Frieza's, and against Frieza, Khan may be in danger. What a hassle. Vados raised his forehead, then tapped the angel staff, and turned into a colorful rainbow and left the Earth. Galactic Patrol Headquarters. Just when Myers was about to lead the Galaxy Patrol members out on patrol, Vados suddenly descended. Miss, who are you? For Vados, the uninvited guest, Jake couldn't help asking curiously. Myers waved his hand, then stepped forward and said, Sister Vados, why are you here? Myers, I need your help. I wonder if I have time to go to Namek with me now. Vados did not beat around the bush, and expressed his purpose clearly. Hearing this, Myers groaned for a moment, then turned to Jake and said, "Jack, you will lead the patrol this time, I'll go out for a while." In universe space, a rainbow of 7 colors flew by rapidly, and it was Vados and Myers who came out of the Galactic Patrol headquarters. Along the way, Vados explained her purpose to Myers in detail. After listening to it, Myers was puzzled and asked, "Sister Vados, why don't you do this kind of thing yourself?" Myers thought it was something, but Vados asked him to go to Namek with him, and if Frieza threatened Khan's life, he would punish Frieza. "If I can make a move, I won't use it to find you," Vados explained. "After all, my husband doesn't know that I am Angel. With his current strength, he still can't reach my level, so I can't reveal my identity for the time being. Otherwise, I'm afraid he won't be able to accept it." Vados wouldn't want to bother if he could. After hearing this, Myers sighed straight away. Okay, I really can't do anything about you." At this time, the universe spacecraft that Khan, Bulma and others took has left the Earth, and is rapidly moving towards the coordinates of the Namek planet. Due to the long distance, Son Goku and others went to rest, leaving only Khan and Bulma in the cabin. Khan sat by the window, looking at the starry sky outside, wondering what he was thinking. Bulma switched on autopilot and sat next to Khan with a chair. "Khan, remember what happened to us before?" Sitting next to Khan, Bulma recalled the old days with Khan. "Of course I remember." Khan naturally remembered these things clearly. "The first time I met Bulma, and after the two were together, the first time holding hands, the first date, the first kiss. But it's pointless to say that now." Khan sighed. "He is married and the bride is not Bulma. It's a woman who looks almost exactly like the 6th universe angel Vados, and even has the same name. Why is it meaningless? This is a common memory between us." But Bulma disagrees with Khan's statement. Then she asked, "Khan, don't you like me at all in your heart?" Khan turned to look at Bulma and said, "If you want to ask me if I still like you, my answer is yes, but I'm married, you should understand." "So what?" Bulma argued. "Of course I know you are married, can't you marry me after you are married?" Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Khan looked at Bulma with a black question mark on his face. "Bulma, what are you talking about? Even if I want to marry you, Vados won't agree. You don't have to worry about that." Speaking of this, Bulma became proud instead. "Vados is willing to accept me, as long as you are willing to marry me, then there is no problem." This. Khan's eyelids twitched violently, and for a moment he couldn't figure out whether what Bulma said was true or not. Vados willing to take Bulma. Khan himself couldn't believe it. While Khan was in a daze, Bulma stepped forward, looked at Khan and said, "Say, would you like to marry me?" Khan. Grass. Why does Khan have a sense of copyright Yavu that he is going to be forced to go to the top? And the girl forced me to marry her. And Bulma, the richest man in the world. Ahem. Khan tactically coughed and said, "Vados really said that?" "Of course, will I lie to you?" Bulma's tone was firm. After pondering for a while, Khan said, "Let's leave it at that, can we wait until we return to Earth this time?" "That is, you agree. As long as Vados accepts you, I'm fine." Bulma, the richest man in the world, the fair-skinned and beautiful rich woman and the world's top scientist forced him to marry her. Is there any reason for Khan to refuse? As long as Vados has no objection, Khan certainly would. He has no reason to refuse. Moreover, as long as I marry Bulma, what kind of vegetables will I grow in the future? Doesn't he like eating soft rice? Isn't it nice to hug him left and right? Seeing that Khan agreed to come down, Bulma immediately beamed with joy. "Then it's okay to say that, it's a deal, and you can't go back on your word." Khan smiled and said, "Why do you have to go back on your word? At the beginning, I was mainly afraid of disturbing you, and I didn't know what your thoughts were at that time, so I chose a blind date." HMPH. Bulma snorted proudly. "It's all your fault, you almost lost such a lovely and charming wife as me." Half a month later, Vegeta returned to the planet Frieza No. 79 on the Universe spacecraft. Almost half a month later, Vegeta recovered from his injury. After recovering from his injuries, Vegeta's strength has greatly increased, from the original 18,000 combat power to 30,000. Vegeta was amazed, and also learned from the Frieza Legion that Frieza had gone to Namek to find the Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, here I come. A cold light flashed in Vegeta's eyes, and Saiyan's blood in his body was rolling. He longs for the Dragon Ball and wishes for immortality. In this way, he has the capital to resist Frieza, and at the same time, he can get revenge from Khan. A low-level fighter in Khan can reach hundreds of thousands of terrifying fighting power. He is a majestic Prince Saiyan, a genius fighter, there is no reason why he is weaker than Khan. Then, Vegeta, who had just recovered from his injuries, boarded the spaceship Universe again and set off for planet Namek immediately. A few more days passed. The three waves of Khan, Frieza and Vegeta arrived on Namek almost at the same time. Namek, which has not been visited by humans from other planets for a long time, ushered in three groups of people today. But what the Namekians don't know yet is that for them, this may be a catastrophe. Namek. This is a planet with a diameter more than 10 times that of the Earth. There are 3 small stars revolving around the Namek star, so the Namek star has only day and no night. Is this the Namek planet? After getting off the spaceship of Universe, Kling looked around and found that the environment of Namek was completely different from that of Earth. If the coordinates are correct, it should be. Bulma folded his hands on his chest and said, although the diameter of Namek is more than 10 times that of Earth, the atmospheric composition and gravity are almost the same as that of Earth, so even ordinary humans like Bulma can survive on Namek without any problems. A few strong Chis have arrived with us. At this time, Son Goku said solemnly. Vegeta, Khan felt it carefully and said, Dodoria, Sabo and Frieza. Who the hell is Frieza? Why do you always say this name? Bald Klin scratched his head. He has heard the name Frieza many times from Vegeta and Khan, but he just doesn't know who Frieza is. Khan smiled indescribably. You will know when you meet. Goku, the task of collecting the Dragon Ball is entrusted to you. You, nephew Gohan and Krillin go to the Namek tribe. The Dragon Ball is in the Namek tribe. If you meet someone from the Frieza Legion, hit them if you can, and call me if you can't. Khan then explained. Khan is not interested in collecting Dragon Balls, and his purpose for coming to Namek is clear. That is to find Frieza and avenge Bardock and Jine. Okay, I get it. Son Goku nodded, making no sense to Khan's arrangement. After a little tidying up, Son Goku took Son Gohan and Keelan on the road. Khan, what about us? After Son Goku left, Bulma asked. Find a hidden place to park the Universe spaceship before making arrangements. After coming to Namek for more than a month, Khan's strength has improved again, and he has broken through 1 million combat power. 1 million combat power may be more than enough to deal with others, but to deal with Frieza, it is obviously courting death. The combat power of Frieza in its final form is as high as 120 million, 1 million against 120 million. Is it possible that I still have the advantage? So Khan had to check in before going to Frieza. With his sign-in system, you can get special rewards for signing in different places. I don't know what the special rewards are for signing in on Namek. Khan is looking forward to it. Half an hour later, Bulma drove the Universe spacecraft to find a relatively hidden valley and stopped. System, sign in on Namek. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the daily check-in and getting the daily check-in reward, 1500 combat power improvement cards. Ding. The host signs in on Namek and gets a special reward, potential inspiration capsule. Potential stimulating capsule. Khan scratched his head, a big question mark on his face. Could it be that the potential of the Great Elder of Namek was stimulated? Or the kind of potential stimulation of the old Supreme Kai? But which one it is, has a great effect on the current Khan. So, without hesitation, Khan swallowed the potential inspiration capsule. The moment the potential arousal capsule was put into his belly, Khan could immediately feel a warm current rushing from the depths of his body like a tsunami. At this moment, Khan only felt that his whole body was transparent, and his epiphany about the journey of cultivation increased sharply. His fighting power also skyrocketed at this moment. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 8 million, 10 million. Is this medicine so strong? Feeling the sea-like energy in his body, Khan was startled. If he had known earlier, he would have come to Namek already. In just the blink of an eye, his fighting power has increased tenfold. But thinking about it carefully, it seems quite reasonable. In the original book, after Son Gohan was stimulated by the Great Elder of Namek, his combat effectiveness increased by almost 10 times. From this point of view, the effect of this potential stimulation capsule should be equivalent to being stimulated by the Great Elder of Namek. Although Khan can also go to the Great Elder to stimulate his potential, but it is no longer necessary. This saves a lot of trouble, and now he can go directly to Frieza. Bulma, you stay here, I'll come back as soon as I go. Withdrawing his mind, Khan was ready to go. Hey, won't you take me there? Bulma hurried to follow, leaving her here alone. She was also afraid. After all, if you are not familiar with the place, there is also the threat from the Frieza Legion. Khan thought about it for a while, and decided to take Bulma anyway. Bring her there, at least Khan can take care of her. If you keep her here, if someone from Vegeta or Frieza Legion accidentally steals her home, it will be over. Then let's go. Then, Khan grabbed Bulma's small waist, performed flying technique, turned into a rainbow light and rushed towards Frieza. At the same time, above the high sky of Namek, Vados and Myers stood side by side. Sister Vados, it's a bit strange. Looking down at Khan, who was flying at high speed, Myers said in surprise, your brother-in-law entered the universe spaceship within a few minutes, how come out the strength has improved so much? This, Vados spread his hands, shook his head and said, I don't know very well, but it's a good thing, isn't it? Let's go and have a look. Although Khan's strength has been increased by 10 times, 10 million fighting power is not enough to compete with Frieza. Therefore, it is still necessary for Vados and Myers to follow up and observe the situation. If the situation is not right, Myers will make a timely move. A powerful chi moved in the direction of Frieza. Is that the Khan guy? On a certain island on Namek, Vegeta held a large dragon ball in his hand, looked towards a certain direction in the sky and muttered to himself. After returning from Earth, Vegeta also learned how Khan and Son Goku perceived chi. A person's strength and specific direction can be judged by the way of sensing chi, no longer relying on the combat power detector used by the Frieza Legion. When reaching Namek, Vegeta sensed the auras of Khan, Son Goku and Frieza. The chi moving at a high speed that he felt now was unfathomably strong. Son Goku doesn't have such a strong chi, and this chi is not Frieza's, so there is only one answer. Khan went to find Frieza. Interesting. The corners of Vegeta's mouth twitched slightly. Khan's gone to find Frieza, which means there's going to be a big fight between the two of them. No matter who is strong or weak, Vegeta has a strong interest in this battle. First, he wanted to see how strong Frieza really is, and second, he wanted to know whether Khan could defeat Frieza and avenge the Saiyan nation. The last is the most important point. Regardless of who Khan and Frieza are on Namek, he obviously cannot collect all 7 Dragon Balls smoothly to summon Shenron to fulfill his wish. He can only successfully achieve his goal by taking advantage of Khan and Frieza's loss and reaping the benefits of both. In this way, he can not only collect all 7 Dragon Balls smoothly. At the same time, he can also deal with Frieza, the enemy, and get rid of Khan's shame. It's like killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Vegeta was amazed by his intelligence. He, ha 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 ha. Vegeta suddenly laughed triumphantly. Khan, Frieza. Unexpectedly, the final winner is me, Vegeta. Immediately, Vegeta set off immediately, following closely behind Khan. At the same time, Khan naturally sensed that Vegeta was following, but he didn't care. After a few minutes, Khan descends on an island continent with Bulma. A universe ship of the Frieza Corps is parked on flat ground, and there are many Frieza Corps working. Inside, Frieza sat on the fighting pod and also noticed the arrival of Khan and Bulma. Frieza blinked her scarlet eyes, and said in surprise, oh. Who are these 2 people? They're not from Namek, and they don't look like Saiyan either. King Frieza, do you want to kill them? A member of the Frieza army asked respectfully. A cold light flashed in Frieza's eyes, and he ordered, it seems that the visitors are not kind, let's kill them. Yes. After receiving Frieza's order, the Frieza soldier retreated. Soon, several Frieza soldiers blocked the way of Khan and Bulma, and then under Frieza's watchful eyes, these men were instantly killed by Khan. Oh ho 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 ho. Seeing this scene, Frieza laughed with interest. It's really interesting, you dare to trouble me Frieza, you don't know what to do. Who is he? Universe Emperor Frieza. He has always been the only one who makes trouble for others, who dares to make trouble for him. Therefore, Frieza became very interested in Khan for a while, even though in Frieza's eyes, Khan was already a cold corpse. But Frieza admired Khan's courage and guts. At least, in this world, Khan was the first person who had the guts to trouble him. Frieza skimmed out of the universe spaceship with the battle cabin, and landed slowly. As soon as Frieza appeared, an evil and terrifying sense of oppression rushed over his face, scaring Bulma to hide behind Khan. The scarlet eyes looked at Khan carefully, and Frieza also noticed the tan tail blowing in the wind behind Khan. Are you Saiyan? After discovering that Khan is Saiyan, Frieza immediately showed a look of surprise. It stands to reason that Saiyan had become extinct more than 20 years ago, leaving only 3 Vegeta who served under him. There is still a fish that slipped through the net. Looking at Khan's face, Frieza's tiger body was shocked again. Your face makes me feel a little familiar. For some reason, Frieza always felt that Khan's face was familiar to him. But he obviously met Khan for the first time. In the next second, a face appeared in Frieza's mind. Bardock's face. When he destroyed planet Vegeta back then, the other Saiyans basically gave up resistance, and only one Saiyan resisted desperately to the end. That's Bardock. It was also Bardock's heroic and fearless resistance that Frieza was so impressed with. You're that guy's son. Frieza cried out in shock. He said how he felt that Khan's face was a little familiar, so it was because of Bardock. Khan's haircut is different from Bardock's, but their faces share some similarities. It's really rare, thanks to the fact that you still remember the person who swore to fight to the end for the Saiyan nation. Khan raised his eyelids slightly, and there was a cold killing intent in his flat voice. My father, Bardock. At this moment, Frieza also understood the purpose of Khan's trip. Clap clap. Frieza applauded suddenly, and then said with a sinister smile, your courage, I admire you a lot. You have the same courage as Bardock back then. Unfortunately, you are not smart enough, and you can even be said to be stupid. Do you know why? In this universe, there is no one who can resist me, Frieza, which is why this king can be called the Emperor of the Universe. Ben Wong Chang's powerful combat power will make you feel desperate. Ha ha. Khan sneered and said, Frieza, you have lived in your own world for too long. The era of your dominance in the universe has come to an end. Immediately, Khan clenched his fist. Today, I will personally pay back the blood debt of my father Bardock and mother Jain on you. Frieza said disdainfully. Oh ho 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 ho, if you have this ability, I don't mind. Frieza is not intimidating. Just a few words from Khan obviously can't scare him. But, Frieza's scarlet eyes narrowed dangerously, and said coldly, since you dare to challenge this king, you have to pay the corresponding price. Later, this king will let you know what life is better than death. The spam session is over. The air was filled with a strong smell of gunpowder, and the two seemed ready to fight at any moment. Suddenly, Khan's tiger body shook, and he turned his head to look at the distant sky. Khan, what's the matter? Sensing Khan's strangeness, Bulma couldn't help asking. Goku, something happened. Just now, Son Goku's chi completely disappeared in Khan's perception. Walk. For a while, Khan couldn't care about Frieza anymore, and took Bulma to the sky, disappearing in an instant. Run. No one can escape under the eyes of this king. Frieza didn't know why Khan suddenly wanted to run, but he didn't let Khan go because of it. In Frieza's eyes, wild monkeys like Saiyan should die. Through sensing chi, Vegeta also knew what happened, and he followed immediately without hesitation. The Namek village where Dend lives. The Namekians in the village were gathered together, looking at Dodoria, Sabo, and the dozen or so Frieza Legion men they brought with them in horror. And there were several Namek corpses lying on the ground. They died in a miserable state and were killed by a single blow. In addition to the Namekians and the Frieza Legion, there are third parties. Son Goku, Kling and Son Gohan. Dad, Dad. Son Gohan knelt in front of Son Goku's body, crying heartbreakingly. Goku. Heelan's pupils trembled, and he could hardly believe his eyes. Son Goku is dead. Got pierced by a ki blast from Dodoria. On the way to collect the Dragon Ball just now, they discovered that the Namek village was attacked by Dodoria and Sabo, and the kind-hearted Son Goku planned to rescue them. As a result, Son Goku lost to Dodoria, and was killed by Dodoria after a beating. Little ghost, don't cry, I will send you down to reunite with your father now. Dodoria folded her hands on her chest and teased. Talking, Dodoria took a step forward, approaching Keelan and Son Gohan with a wicked smile on her face. Klin's body and mind immediately tensed up. He put on a fighting stance and stared at Dodoria fearfully, but because of the fear deep in his heart, Klin's whole body trembled. Even Son Goku was hanged by Dodoria and killed in one blow. What kind of waves can his weak strength cause in front of Dodoria? Laugh. Son Gohan gritted his teeth and stood up. The death of Son Goku turned his grief into strength. Son Gohan stared angrily, like a god of death. Didi. At this moment, the combat power detectors of Dodoria and Sabo also responded. In the combat power detector, Son Gohan's combat power soared wildly, breaking through the 10,000 mark in just a few seconds. 10,000 combat power. Dodoria and Sabo were shocked beyond measure on the spot. How old is this brat in front of him, but he actually has a combat power exceeding 10,000. Moreover, Son Gohan's fighting power is still soaring. 15,000, 20,000. Impossible. Dodoria stomped back a few steps, shocked again. He even wondered if the combat power detector was malfunctioning. How could a kid who looked no more than a few years old possess such terrifying fighting power? You know, even his combat power is only 22,000. You big villain, return my father. Son Gohan, whose combat power soared instantly, rushed towards Dodoria angrily. With no fighting skills, Son Gohan hit Dodoria's chest hard with an iron fist. Puff! Under such a heavy blow, Dodoria's eyeballs protruded a little, and she flew upside down, finally hitting the mountain behind her hard to make a dent. Dodoria, on the other hand, is deeply embedded in the mountain. Master Dodoria, this brat, actually knocked Lord Dodoria into the air. Quote. The Frieza army on the side was also shocked by Son Gohan's sudden burst of fighting power. Even Sabo frowned, he could see it. The 20,000 combat power is not Son Gohan's real strength, but because Son Goku's death made him feel extremely angry, so he burst into amazing combat power in an instant. But that's all. Dodoria swept out from the mountain, her face completely darkened. Although Son Gohan's iron head attack just now did not cause much injury to Dodoria, Dodoria felt extremely aggrieved. Unexpectedly, he, Dodoria, would one day be crushed under the hands of a brat. Little rascal, I'm going to trample you under my feet, get skin cramps, and ruthlessly ravage you. Listening to Dodoria's gloomy and scalp-numbing words, Son Gohan, who was like a deflated balloon, suddenly showed a frightened expression. Backed away because of fear. Gohan, come to me. Keelan appeared in front of Son Gohan with a stride. Son Goku was dead, and he couldn't let Son Gohan have any accidents. Though he's no match for Dodoria either. But if Dodoria wants to hurt Son Gohan, he has to step over his dead body first. Don't worry, none of you can escape. Die to me. Tread. Dodoria stomped her feet, the ground under her feet cracked, and she charged towards Klin in a charging posture. Before the fight, Kling was overwhelmed by Dodoria's pressure. He didn't even have the courage to resist, so he could only symbolically put his arms in front of his body, close his eyes and prepare to die. You, Dodoria. At the very moment, a judgment-like voice exploded over the Namek village. Then, Son Gohan, Dend and others were shocked to see that Dodoria, which had made them feel desperate just now, was trampled down by a black shadow falling from the sky. Son Gohan recognized the voice before he could see who was coming. Son Gohan was overjoyed. It's Uncle Khan. The sudden change also caused Sabo and others to shrink their pupils. Sabo took a closer look, and saw that Dodoria was stepped on by a tall and straight figure, and his head had exploded like a watermelon. Brains and blood flowed all over the place. Master Dodoria. Seeing this scene, the dozen or so Frieza soldiers stepped back in horror. Dodoria, she couldn't survive a face-to-face meeting and was instantly killed. Who is this guy who suddenly appeared? In the blink of an eye, Dodoria was killed. At this time, Sabo couldn't keep calm anymore. The opponent's ability to instantly kill Dodoria meant that he might be stronger than him. Khan ignored Sabo and the others, and his eyes fell directly on Son Goku's body. I saw a shocking bloody hole in Son Goku's heart. Apparently, Son Goku was killed by a blow through the heart. Goku-san. Looking at the tragic death of Son Goku, Bulma was so frightened that his face turned pale on the spot. Goku, maybe this is your fate too. Khan sighed. Son Goku didn't die when Raditz attacked as in the original book, but died because of a trip to Namek. After all, he could not escape the fate of death. Although he died at the hands of Dodoria, it may be a good thing for Son Goku. In the world of Dragon Ball, death is nothing more than a circle of light above the head. Therefore, Khan didn't feel much sadness because of Son Goku's death, because for Son Goku, he was at most temporarily away from the earth for a period of time. Sooner or later he will be resurrected. Uncle Khan. Little Gohan came up, his eyes were red from crying because of Son Goku's death. Khan stroked Son Gohan's head and comforted, "Don't be sad, your father will be resurrected soon. Your father's revenge, Uncle will avenge him." Immediately, Khan handed over Son Gohan to Bulma and Keelan, and he looked at Sabo and others with cold eyes. Following Khan's icy, murderous gaze, Sabo and the others felt a chill down their spines. Then, the massacre began. Crushed by Khan's absolute strength, Sabo and the dozen or so Frieza troops who were showing off their might in the Namek village just now were slaughtered by Khan in just a few seconds. Not even Sob survived a second in Khan's hands. Sabo's death was exactly the same as that of Son Goku. He was pierced through the heart by an energy beam from Khan, killing him with one blow. The corpses of Sabo, Dodoria, and a dozen Frieza soldiers were lying on the ground in disorder, and the scene became horrific for a while. The children in the Namek village were also pale with fright at this scene. After tidying up Sabo and others, Khan turned his gaze to the Namek people in the village. In an instant, the Namekians backed away in fright, fearing that they would end up being ruthlessly massacred by Khan just like Sabo and the others. However, Khan said to the elders of the village, "If you don't want to die, take your people out of here quickly, Frieza is coming." Although it was not clear who Frieza was, the elders did not hesitate and immediately organized the evacuation of the living Namekians in the village. Of course including Dend, Son Gohan et al. And just when they were about to evacuate, a devilish laughter resounded in the air. "Oh ho 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 ho, where are you fleeing to?" As soon as the words fell, Frieza, who was driving the battle cabin, appeared from the sky at an astonishing speed. Tisk. Soon, Frieza also discovered the bodies of Dodoria, Sabo and the dozens of Frieza troops. Presumably this should be Khan's masterpiece. He looked at Khan coldly with scarlet eyes, and said in a deep voice, "Wild monkey, Mr. Sabo and Mr. Dodoria were killed by you, right?" The corner of Khan's mouth raised. "Isn't this obvious? DMN dwarf. What is your name, my king?" Frieza's eyes widened, and she suddenly became furious. Although he is the emperor of the universe, his height has always been his flaw, just like fat people hate being called fat. The same goes for Frieza. What he hates the most is when people laugh at his height. Otherwise, there would be no story about the 5-centimeter height that caused a big war in the later Brawly Theater version. Dwarf. Khan wasn't stingy either. Since Frieza wanted to hear it, he didn't mind shouting again. During Satsuna, Frieza was so angry that he wanted to eat Khan alive. He screamed and said furiously, "Savage stinky monkey, this king will tear you to pieces." Boom. Frieza was furious, with serious consequences. Even the combat power detector worn on his left eye exploded because of this. Facing the furious Frieza, Khan shrugged his shoulders and said sarcastically, "You can call me a wild monkey, but can't I call you a dwarf? You are still the emperor of the universe, and you are too narrow-minded." PFF ha 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 ha. Above the clouds, Vados was amused as he watched Frieza jumping up and down in Khan's rage. "I didn't expect Khan to have such a cute side. Indeed. You Frieza can be called a wild monkey, but can't they call you a dead dwarf? Double standards can't be so double standard." Myers also said in embarrassment, "This is the first time I've seen Frieza get angry like this. Brother-in-law's mouth is too sharp." It is really rare for a majestic universe emperor to be furious and smoke from his 7 orifices. Vegeta on the other side was also dumbfounded. So, is height a weakness for Frieza? Vegeta was dumbfounded in surprise, and it was the first time he saw Frieza almost had a heart attack. Only, this method is also used by Khan. In terms of height, Vegeta is not much better than Frieza. If he also laughed at Frieza's height problem, wouldn't it be half a catty laughing, hurting the enemy's 1000 and self-defeating 800? At this time, Frieza was so angry by Khan that she gritted her teeth and said with a gloomy expression, "Saiyan wild monkey, this king will tear your mouth apart and let you die without a whole body, otherwise the hatred in my heart will not be eliminated." "Ah!" Frieza shouted, and his figure instantly disappeared from the combat cabin. "The battle is imminent. Call out." In a flash, Frieza appeared directly in front of Khan, kicked Khan fiercely towards the temple with a side kick. Boom! There was a muffled sound, but Khan did not dodge, and took Frieza's kick solidly. However, Frieza was dumbfounded after that, because Khan received his kick firmly without any reaction. Didn't even move his body. What? Frieza was startled, and then adjusted his body slightly in midair, put his feet together, and smashed heavily on Khan's chest with a phase dash. Clang! This time, it still did not cause any harm to Khan, and he still stood in place, motionless. Instead, Frieza just mentioned the iron plate, which made his feet hurt a little. Impossible. It's impossible for Saiyan to be able to take this king's attack. Shocked, Frieza really did not believe in evil. He doesn't believe his attack, it has no effect on Saiyan who was once ruled by force. Ah! Frieza's fierce attacks were all on Khan, even Qigong bombs were used. After fighting for a few minutes, Frieza retreated a distance panting. The scarlet eyes were fixed on the place where the smoke and dust rose directly in front of him. He was tired from playing, and he still couldn't believe that he couldn't break Khan's defense. However, as the smoke gradually dissipated, Khan's tall and straight figure reappeared in Frieza's sight. I saw Khan's tall and straight figure standing like an unfallen iron tower. Withstanding Frieza's barrage of onslaughts, Khan not only didn't get hurt, he didn't even frown. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Frieza was shocked. What the hell is going on that his attack doesn't work on Saiyan? This was the first time Frieza had encountered such a situation in all these years. No wonder he was so shocked. How? Seeing this scene, Vegeta, who was hiding in the dark and watching here, was also shocked. He knew Khan was strong, and he knew Frieza was strong. But what he didn't expect was that Frieza's attack did not cause any substantial damage to Khan. You know, this is Frieza, Universe Emperor. With its powerful strength, it has been domineering in the universe for many years, and its ruler status is unshakable. But today, Frieza's attack was ineffective, and the opponent was still a Saiyan. A nation once ruled by force by Frieza and his father, King Cold. Khan, how strong is this guy? Vegeta looked gloomy. He could sense that Khan's aura was very strong, but he couldn't perceive the limit of Khan's aura, because it was beyond his current strength cognition. The stronger Khan showed, the more unbalanced Vegeta felt. Uncle Khan is so strong. Behind a boulder not far away, Son Gohan also exclaimed. Keelan said with emotion. Yeah, this guy Khan has left all of us far behind without knowing it. I really don't know how he cultivated. Back then, the backbone of the earth was still Son Goku. Although Khan's strength is not weak, he has always been overwhelmed by Son Goku. But at the moment, let alone them, even Son Goku is far behind by Khan. Kling even wonders if Khan has been deliberately hiding his power for the past 2 decades. After all, even he can easily do something as simple as suppressing breath, let alone Khan. As expected of my Khan, come on, beat this dwarf to me. Bulma waved his little powder fist and shouted emotionally. Dend and the elders who watched from the side were taken aback. Poof! Khan patted the unnecessary dust on his body, and taunted, the Emperor of the Universe. Frieza, you don't even have the strength to beat people. How dare you call yourself the Emperor of the Universe? It's not that Khan looks down on Frieza, but that Frieza in the first form really doesn't pose any threat to him. The combat power of Frieza in the first form is only 530,000, but his current normal combat power has already exceeded 10 million. Without transforming into the final form, in Khan's eyes, Frieza is just an ant. Tread. Frieza stomped back a few steps and said in shock, Are you the legendary Super Saiyan? Super Saiyan. It is precisely because of this legend that Frieza chose to destroy planet Vegeta and exterminate the Saiyan nation. In this legend, the Golden Warrior Super Saiyan defeated his ancestor Zild. Therefore, even though Frieza knew that this might just be an illusory legend, in order to avoid long nights and dreams, Frieza finally decided to destroy planet Vegeta and exterminate Saiyan. To avoid future troubles, Frieza knows how strong the Saiyan nation is. Unless it's the legendary Super Saiyan of the Saiyan nation, there's no way a Saiyan can stand against him, let alone withstand his onslaught unscathed. Nani. As soon as Frieza said this, Vegeta was shocked again. This guy Kon turned out to be the legendary Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan. Now, Vegeta's unbalanced psychology became even more unbalanced. He is a majestic Saiyan prince, a genius fighter is not a Super Saiyan. Kon is a Saiyan who was born as a low-level fighter, why would he be a Super Saiyan? Vegeta stared fixedly at Kon's figure, shocked. He really wanted to rush out and ask Kon, is this guy a Super Saiyan or not? But he can't do that now. A big question mark appeared on Vados' pretty face above the cloud. Super Saiyan, what is that? Why hasn't she heard of it? As if knowing what Vados was thinking, Myers explained, before the Saiyan nation was exterminated by Frieza, there was a legend about the Golden Warrior Super Saiyan among the Saiyan nation. Myers succinctly told the legend about Super Saiyan. So that's how it is. Vados suddenly realized, and said, however, according to this legend, Super Saiyan is a Golden Warrior, right? Kon doesn't look like a Golden Warrior now. Maybe, I haven't seen Super Saiyan after all, Myers said noncommittally. Regarding Frieza's statement, Kon denied it. Don't panic, dwarf, I'm not Super Saiyan yet, but I will be soon. Hearing this, Frieza was taken aback. What do you mean? Kon didn't explain too much to him, but urged, stop talking nonsense, transform quickly, I know you can improve your combat power through transformation. You in this form are not my opponent, just transform into your final form, I don't want to waste time with you. What did you say? Frieza's eyes narrowed dangerously. Kon actually knew that he could improve his strength through transformation. Kon seemed to know him well, but he didn't know Kon at all, which made Frieza feel a little uncomfortable. But it doesn't matter anymore. He is Frieza, Emperor of the universe. So what if Kon is stronger? Even if he is the legendary Super Saiyan, he is definitely not his opponent. This is the confidence brought to Frieza by strong strength. In his final form, when the energy is fully activated, the combat power can reach an astonishing 120 million. It is this astronomical combat power value that enables Frieza to be domineering in the 7th universe, and no one can shake his status and dominance. And Frieza also realized that he couldn't be Kon's opponent in his first form. Neither does the second form. In his second form, his combat power is only 1 million, and he will not be Kon's opponent. That being the case, how many years have passed, and you are the first person to let me transform into my final form. It is your honor to die under my final form, Saiyan. The moment the words fell, Frieza clenches her fists and guesses the horse's step. The breath began to rise geometrically. Crackling. Rumble. During Setsuna, thunder danced around Frieza, and the ground began to tremble. Frieza was covered in purple energy all over her body. Under the wrapping of purple energy, Frieza's body shape began to change. Frieza, is she going to transform into her final form? The moment Frieza started to transform, Vegeta's pupils suddenly shrank. Frieza began to transform, and the pretty face of Vados above the clouds gradually became dignified. According to the information she received, Frieza in its final form is still far superior to Kon in strength. If Kon didn't have any special means or whole cards, he wouldn't be able to defeat Frieza, who is absolutely crushing. Myers, it's up to you if Kon is in any danger waiting. Vados exhorted. I see. Myers nodded solemnly. This is also the purpose of his trip to Namek with Vados, to secretly protect Kon from Frieza. After all, Frieza can be called the Emperor of the universe, and his strength is not covered. In the village, Frieza's transformation continues. Thunder and lightning flashed in the sky, the earth trembled, and space shook. Finally, under the gaze of everyone, Frieza transforms from the first form to the second form, and from the second form to the final form. When the last ray of purple energy flowed into Frieza's body along his nose, the final form of Frieza appeared in everyone's sight. Compared with the first form, Frieza's body line in the final form is more perfect and more domineering. A pair of treacherous scarlet pupils, strange purple-black lips, a long off-white tail swinging freely, and the innate kingly aura and self-confidence on his face all give people an incomparably powerful sense of oppression. Okay, what a terrible air. Looking at Frieza in the final form, Keelan was shocked, and his voice began to tremble slightly. it's like being pressed by an evil spirit. Can Khan be his opponent? On Son Gohan's immature face, there was a look of determination. I believe Khan Bobo can win. So, who is stronger, Khan or Frieza? Bulma had a black question mark on his face. She can't feel chi, and naturally she doesn't know whether Khan or Frieza in the final form is stronger or weaker. No, it's hard to say. Keelan said with a serious face. From the perspective of breath, Frieza's breath is obviously stronger, but what? Tell me, Bulma asked anxiously. Keelan swallowed hard, and then said, Bulma, have you noticed? Khan must also feel that Frieza's anger is stronger than his, but he doesn't seem to be worried at all now. Maybe is there any way he can deal with Frieza? I don't know the specifics. So this is all. Bulma nodded thoughtfully. She knew Khan, and Khan never did anything he was not sure of. Since Khan can still stand in front of Frieza so calmly, it means that he must have his own confidence. Now, let's see how things develop. Frieza in its final form. At this moment, Vegeta's face completely darkened. Frieza in the first form alone made him feel invincible, and as a result, Frieza can transform, greatly improving his strength. Under the terrifying aura of the final form Frieza, Vegeta's mood at the moment is only despair. Yes, Frieza's strength is so strong that Vegeta is desperate. He really didn't know how Khan could defeat Frieza and avenge the Saiyan nation. If Vegeta had to choose a side, he thinks he would choose Khan's side now. While he doesn't have a crush on Khan either, he hates Frieza even more. After transforming into the final form, Frieza's momentum and confidence are completely different. His sharp scarlet eyes stared straight at Khan, then put one hand on his chest, bent slightly, as you wish, Mr. Khan, this is the final form of this king. Immediately, Frieza stretched out a finger and said confidently, in this form, I only need to use 10% of my strength to easily send you away. Khan shrugged, noncommittal. Really? Frieza in his final form really only needs to use 10% of his strength to deal with him now. But well, I, Khan, don't have the confidence to stand in front of you, Frieza, and let you transform into your final form smoothly. That's what makes it interesting. Facing Frieza, the ultimate form whose strength far exceeds his own, Khan not only has no fear. This instead turned on the Saiyan belligerence in him. Feeling the powerful pressure from Frieza, Khan could only feel the blood in his body boiling, and couldn't help but want to fight Frieza. Immediately afterwards, Khan put on a fighting posture and said excitedly, come on, Frieza, today either you die or you die. Act recklessly. Frieza dismissed Khan's outrageous remarks. Today his battle with Khan has only one outcome. That ended with Khan's death. Strictly speaking, today is actually Khan's first battle since he traveled to the Dragon Ball world, because his strength has crushed his opponents in previous battles. In fact, it was not a battle at all, but a crush. Today with Frieza, it's the real battle. So, at this moment, Khan is more excited than ever. Boom. The next moment, with almost no warning, Frieza chose to take the initiative. His seemingly unpretentious blow knocked Khan back thousands of meters. After passing through the hills of dozens of islands along the way, Khan barely stabilized his figure. Call out. Just as Khan came back to his senses, Frieza had already followed, and another upside-down golden hook slammed down. Ha ha ha, good time. Khan's fighting spirit was burning fiercely. Facing Frieza's powerful attack, Khan did not choose to avoid the edge temporarily, but chose to be tough head-on. With a swing of his arm, Khan bounced Frieza's upside-down golden hook, and then kept moving, clenched his right fist, and slammed into Frieza's face. Frieza is naturally not cowardly. He didn't dodge anyway, and just punched him head-on. Frieza's purpose is clear. Come on, hurt each other. Of course. Puff. In the next moment, Khan's huge fist greeted Frieza's left firmly. The powerful force even made Frieza's face almost deformed. Looking back at Frieza's fist, because his arm was not as long as Khan's arm, his fist stopped a few centimeters from Khan's face. An inch is long and an inch is strong. The hand knife is too short to use. At this moment, Frieza can't wait to make his arm 10 centimeters longer. Hey, so this is the benefit of height. Khan's seemingly casual sentence made Frieza directly break the defense. Wild monkey, don't get carried away over there, watch me kill you. Frieza's expression turned grim, and his breath suddenly exploded. The terrifying aura instantly knocked Khan back. Being poked in the soft spot again, Frieza was completely furious. Instead of using 10% of his power, he used 50% of his power. The moment Frieza's aura rose up, Khan immediately had a dark feeling. He retreated violently again and again, choosing to avoid the edge temporarily. But Frieza's speed was too fast. Frieza, who used 50% of the final form's power, completely crushed Khan. Every move of Khan is controlled by Frieza. The battle situation showed a one-sided posture for a while, and Khan was in a predicament. Khan, come on. At this time, even a layman like Bulma can see that Khan is completely passive. He was pressed and beaten by Frieza the whole time, and he was completely powerless to fight back. No, Frieza is too strong, and Khan is no match for him at all. Heelan said in a deep voice. Now Frieza's strength has completely crushed Khan. If Khan's strength cannot be improved, then no matter how many methods Khan has, it will be futile. In the face of absolute power crushing, all moves are gaudy. This sentence couldn't be more suitable in the world of Dragon Ball. Then what to do? Bulma spun around in a hurry. She didn't want to see Khan die at Frieza's hands. Heelan shook his head, expressing helplessness. Now it's up to Khan himself. Above the clouds, seeing Vados frowning, Myers couldn't help asking, "Sister Vados, do you need me to take action?" "Don't worry, Myers, just keep watching. Khan probably still has some tricks left." Although his brows were furrowed, Vados was actually not in a hurry. She just felt sorry for Khan being beaten up by Frieza. It was crushed in all directions. Through the battle between Khan and Frieza, Vegeta was once again shocked by Frieza's powerful power. As strong as Khan, in front of Frieza, there is no power to fight back. Laugh. Vegeta gritted his teeth tightly. His expression was very painful. He hated his own incompetence, and at the same time despaired because of Frieza's terrifying power that was stronger than he imagined. He really couldn't figure out how to defeat Frieza. Boom. Under Frieza's strong and fierce attack, Khan's defense finally collapsed, and was crushed from the air by Frieza's terrifying blow, smashing a hill to the ground. Rumble. The moment the mountain collapsed, smoke and dust billowed and gravel splashed everywhere. A crack spread like a spider's web, and seawater continuously poured into the bottomless crack. Khan, seeing this scene, Bulma suddenly became hysterical. Because of being too nervous and worried, Bulma tightly strangled Klin's neck, and Klin was almost strangled by Bulma. Tread. Frieza also landed from the sky, and approached the rubble pile where Khan was step by step with the steps of unique sound. Saiyan, after all, is just a barbaric race that this king once ruled. Even if you are a Super Saiyan, you don't pose any threat to this king. Frieza's eyes were as sharp as an eagle's, confident and proud. The power shown by this king just now is only 50% of my power. I know exactly how strong you are. Among the rubble, Khan's voice slowly came out. Frieza, if you think this is all my strength, then you are very wrong. Frieza stopped, feeling something was wrong. Immediately afterwards, with the sound of falling gravel, the slightly embarrassed Khan stood up from the pile of rubble. Although Khan was a little embarrassed under Frieza's fierce offensive just now, his eyes as black as the night sky were still sharp. More than 20 years ago, because you were afraid that there would be another Super Saiyan among the Saiyan nation, you chose to destroy planet Vegeta, exterminate the Saiyan nation. However, I don't know if you have heard a word. What? Frieza narrowed her eyes slightly, and the premonition of uneasiness in her heart became stronger and stronger. A misfortune is a blessing, and a blessing is a misfortune. Khan said word by word. There are indeed very few survivors of the Saiyan nation, but there is enough to produce a Super Saiyan that you are afraid of so much that you can't sleep at night. Today, I will show you the so-called real Super Saiyan. Heard the words, Frieza frowned, and then said disapprovingly, although you have transformed, I am not afraid of the so-called Super Saiyan at all. I chose to exterminate the Saiyan nation at the beginning just to avoid long nights and dreams. Do not. Khan refuted Frieza's words. You chose to destroy planet Vegeta and exterminate Saiyan. The legend of Super Saiyan is only one of the reasons. In fact, you did this back then because someone instructed you behind your back. What did you say? Frieza was not shocked by what Khan said about Super Saiyan, but was shocked by what he said. You know that Lord. Frieza's scalp tingled for a while. Thinking of that adult, Frieza couldn't help feeling a deep sense of fear in his heart. Oh, I know more than you think. Khan just chuckled and didn't make his words too clear. Who is that grown up? Khan and Frieza knew very well. What Frieza didn't expect was that Khan, as a Saiyan remnant who survived from that year, knew of the existence of that lord. What's going on? Could it be that there was something hidden behind the destruction of planet Vegeta back then? At the same time, Vegeta in the dark was shocked by Khan's words. He thought that the destruction of planet Vegeta was just because Frieza was afraid of the legend of Super Saiyan, but Khan's words just now and Frieza's reaction made him realize that the destruction of planet Vegeta was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. What the hell is going on? Unable to figure this out, Vegeta felt like 10,000 ants were crawling all over his body. Not only Vegeta was confused by this matter, but Vados on the cloud was also confused. At first, she also thought that the destruction of planet Vegeta and the death of Khan's parents were due to Frieza, but now it seems that there is actually a mastermind behind it. What the hell is going on? Vados frowned. Although Khan's parents died more than 20 years ago, she still wants to find out what happened back then. Not because she likes to meddle, but because she loves Khan too much. Therefore, Khan's matter, she naturally also regards it as her own matter. Myers shook his head, and said, I'm not very clear, I just know that Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta back then, and I haven't received any more information about it. Even you don't know. Vados' eyes narrowed, but she soon noticed the adult Frieza was talking about. Soon, Vados then connected this so-called, that lord, with a person. That's right, this man is the seventh universe gods of destruction Beerus. The duty of gods of destruction is to destroy planets. If Beerus ordered Frieza to destroy planet Vegeta, it is not impossible. Gods of destruction destroying the planet depends on the mood, so Beerus ordered Frieza to destroy planet Vegeta, maybe because of mood, of course, it may be because of other reasons. However, before getting a specific answer, Vados did not dare to insist that Beerus ordered it. She has to find some time to ask Whis and the truth will come out. If it wasn't Beerus' order, it was someone else. But Vados believes that Beerus is very suspicious. Okay, let me show you what a real Super Saiyan is. You're going to feel hopeless, Frieza. Khan clenched his fists and began to mobilize the energy in his body to gather on his back. There are two ways to transform into Super Saiyan. One is that when the basic strength is sufficient, in a state of extreme anger, you can break through the limit and transform into Super Saiyan. The second is that there are enough S cells in the body, and when the normal combat power reaches the million level, it can gather energy to the back and then burst out, thus breaking through the limit and transforming into a Super Saiyan. The path Khan is currently taking is the latter. Saiyan's S cells are more likely to grow in a peaceful environment, so the S cells in Khan's body, who grew up on the earth, are completely sufficient. Super Saiyan, what is that stuff? Bulma blinked, bewildered. I don't know, but it sounds very powerful. I think this should be the biggest reason why Khan can stand in front of Frieza with confidence. Klein analyzed. Come on, Saiyan. There was hope in the elder's eyes, and the rest of the Namekians also secretly supported Khan in their hearts. For them, only when Khan defeated Frieza could the Namek planet be saved from unwarranted disaster. If Khan is defeated, what they and the Namekians are about to meet will be a catastrophe. The real Super Saiyan. Vegeta stared at Khan who was confronting Frieza, and couldn't help but start to panic. If the legendary Super Saiyan really exists, he should be transformed first. But, Khan, as long as you can defeat the Frieza, you can change to Super Saiyan first. Instead of supporting Frieza, Vegeta might as well support Khan. Although he lost to Khan on Earth, he hated Frieza even more in his heart. It doesn't matter who becomes Super Saiyan first, Vegeta only wants Frieza to die. Although Vegeta is usually loyal in front of Frieza, in fact, deep down in his heart, he has had enough of Frieza, otherwise he would not be so stubborn to find Dragon Ball to oppose Frieza. Drink. As Khan mobilized the energy in his body to gather on his back, Khan's hair began to flutter without wind. The rubble pile under his feet also broke away from the gravity of Namek and floated up. A terrifyingly powerful aura is gradually forming. Rumble. With the improvement of Khan's aura, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and thick thunderbolts fell from the thunderclouds. A powerful aura enveloped the heaven and earth, and the air between the heaven and earth also became oppressive at this moment. Everyone can feel a sense of oppression that is about to come. Whoosh. At the same time, the white energy lingering around Khan tended to develop into golden energy flames. Khan's black hair alternates between blonde and black. Wow! Bulma's eyes widened, and he exclaimed in amazement. Klin, who is better, Khan or Frieza now? No, I don't know, Heelan said solemnly. Their aura is too strong, I can't perceive the limit of their aura. But from the perspective of aura, Khan should be even better. Although Frieza can't perceive chi, he can also feel a strong sense of oppression from Khan. This is in addition to Beerus. Frieza feels oppressed in the second person. Super Saiyan, could it be real? At this moment, Frieza finally felt a little uneasy. Going on like this, if Khan really transforms into Super Saiyan, even if he uses 100% of his power at that time, I'm afraid he may not be Khan's opponent. But Frieza is Frieza after all, what has he not seen? Although he was a little uneasy in his heart, there was no panic on his face. Come on, Khan, let me see what is circulating in Saiyan Nation, the legendary Super Saiyan. Vegeta's eyes widened, staring intently at Khan, who was in the transformed state. Even though he was very unbalanced in his heart, Vegeta hoped that Khan could transform into Super Saiyan at this moment. As long as Khan successfully transforms, it means that Super Saiyan exists. Khan, a mere low-level fighter, can transform into a Super Saiyan, so can he. Rumble. Between heaven and earth, thunder and lightning, strong winds. Compared with the movement when Frieza transformed into the final form just now, the movement caused by Khan's transformation is even greater. And the aura and oppression are stronger. Some moment. Khan sensed that the time was ripe, and immediately burst out the energy gathered on his back. Boom. At this moment, dense thick thunderbolts fell from the thunderclouds, faintly forming a daunting thunder pool, and Khan was in the center of the thunder pool, surrounded by golden energy flames. At this moment, Khan's aura rose again like a volcanic eruption. The next moment, drink. Khan's deep drink resounded through the heaven and earth, fell in everyone's ears, and shook their hearts. There is a dazzling golden light blooming on Khan's body, making it impossible to see Khan's true face now. Whoosh. It was also at the moment when the golden light bloomed, the golden energy arrogance lingering around Khan's body rose against the wind and pierced through the sky and the earth. Coming. Vegeta's pupils shrank suddenly. Bulma, Kling, Son Gohan, Frieza and Vados also became nervous. They stared closely at Khan, who was wrapped in golden light. Under their gaze, the golden light gradually dissipated, and Khan's true face came into everyone's sight again. I saw Khan's erect golden hair fluttering in the wind. A pair of emerald green pupils, and that handsome and majestic face. There is a fierce domineering in the handsome blonde hair and blue eyes, Super Saiyan. Not only that, after successfully transforming into Super Saiyan, Khan's figure has also become stronger. The muscles with clear lines are not only beautiful, but also give people a sense of sight that seems to have infinite explosive power. Handsome. So handsome. Looking at Khan in Super Saiyan state, Vados above the clouds couldn't help but gasp in amazement. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.